Where it stops, no one knows. We're going head into the unknown. Na, 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 na.
Well, hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to Criminality. Or if this is your first time here, welcome to Criminality. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the Delphi case. Surprise! Not really. So yesterday, we had a live last night. We went over the state's response to the defense's motion to correct error, and it had a bunch of exhibits that last night we did not have access to. And of course, in true Delphi fashion, today we now have access to those exhibits. And there's some interesting things that we need to go over. Also, after reading the response to the motion to correct error, there was a few things that we were, like Sleuthy was up here with me. Hopefully she's coming up tonight. I don't know if she's done working yet or not. Voices! Hi, Voices behind the wall. Good to see you. I haven't seen you for so long. We were talking about like some of the things that were in the motion to correct error or the response that we knew for sure. We were like, this is not accurate information. Like, this is not what they told us prior. So if this is accurate, then they lied prior. And if the prior one was the truth, then what they're telling us now is a fucking lie. So anyway, we have some of that stuff that we can go over now. And like I said, we also have the exhibit. So I'm always in the bushes, boo. Love you. Hey, holy shnikes. What's up? Hi, Mar, 1960. Some of you guys I saw earlier today when we were covering the Megan Boswell trial. So welcome back to you guys. Hey, Mama K. What's up, Shibby Shibby? So Libby's iPhone wasn't in a shoe. No, it was the shoe's supposed to be on top of the iPhone. Now, I really wish we had transcripts from trial, especially for closing arguments. I wonder if we can go find that on, I do not have that pulled up, but maybe I'll try to find Andrea Burkhart's closing arguments, because I think one of the things that Nick had said, you know what, he might even say it in the interview with Karen Comet Karen, that Abby hid the phone in the shoe, or does he say under? We were always told it was under, as far as I remember. It was under the shoe. But now I'm thinking that he may have said something else. Get 2 teas for the price of 1. Yep, that's true. Hey, Princess Buttercup. What's up, Indiana girl? Hi, Carla again. Hey, Law Junkie again. Hey, Aloha. What's up, Kat? Hey, Jen. Hey, other Jen. What's up, Stephanie? He talked about it in the presser too. Okay, so maybe he said it in the presser. Okay. No, he says it. No, he told the jury in closing arguments that Abby was a hero and that they solved their own crime, and Abby hid the shoe. That was like the first time that we really heard that Abby was a hero too, because it's always been no, it was supposed to be, it's Libby's shoe and then the phone. So Libby's shoe and then the phone under Libby's shoe. All right, I guess we'll go straight into the phone because we're already talking about that. So let me pull some stuff up. And welcome to all the new members. Thanks to Voices for gifting some memberships. All right, we'll get right into the phone. We'll skip to that. I do have some stuff already pulled up for it, so that works. No, he says it in the first time I had heard it was at the was, I think, Andrea Burkhart covering the closing arguments and how they both solved their crime. There's no shoe in the photo. Right. Well, if the photo is removed, then... So, okay, phone. Let's talk about the phone. Let's go to, where is it? Okay, so here's 9, 10, and 11 are the exhibit numbers from yesterday that he had attached to the motion, his response to the motion. First I heard was that was Wish TV, or a newspaper article. We read it here first. Okay, I'll pull up the Carol comment one. So yeah, supposedly the phone is hidden under the shoe, but if they're taking the photos in order and they don't have the other photos that they're showing us, technically the shoe should be removed for these photos, but there should be prior photos that have the shoe on top of that. Nancy Grace did. Oh, I bet Sleuthy loved that. I'm sure she watched it right away. Oh, did he say it in his opening too? Yeah, maybe he did. I just remember him, like, I just remember the trial being like, they've never talked about Abby being a hero, and now all of a sudden they're trying to like add Abby into like solving her own crime, when it was always how Libby was the hero for recording it. Libby, do I keep saying Abby's shoe? It's Libby's shoe. If I say that wrong, I'm going to tell you right now, it's Libby's shoe on top of Abby. Oh my God. Let me start that over. Underneath Abby is Libby's shoe. Underneath Libby's shoe is the iPhone 6. Abby's shoes are on Abby's feet. It's Libby's shoe underneath Abby, and then the phone underneath the shoe. Like, that's the layers. Make sense? If I screw it up and I say Abby's shoe, somebody in chat say, no, not Abby's shoe, Libby's shoe. I'm going to... Okay, so this is 1. And then this is 2. So just another angle of the phone. And then 3. So he's not giving us the photos before, where if they were taken correctly, there would be a shoe on top of the phone photo that we're not seeing. Like, if we wanted to go with like the whole code of completeness, you know, the rules of completeness. He said before, but RL said he was afraid he got blood on the older girl's clothes. Was that why she was nude? To get rid of his DNA. So would the shoe have been a black Nike sneaker? Correct. The shoe would be a black Nike sneaker. There's one shoe in the creek that is also a black Nike sneaker. One shoe in the creek, one shoe under Abby. Those shoes belong to Libby. Abby's shoes are on Abby's feet. Okay, so here's the couple, I think the biggest things that are coming from this, and I'm going to ask you guys your thoughts too, because this is the whole, you know, from the photos of the phone, there is, you know, you can tell that there's water and dirt. So I guess I have an issue with the fact that it's kind of twofold, and I wish that we had, oh, maybe, no, we just have her CV. I'll have to go back and listen to her again when she went on Snakes, but she said that she saw the photos of the phone and it didn't have any water or dirt. Now, I'm trying to remember, and maybe one of you guys will remember, did she talk about what photos she saw? We have her CV, but yeah, we have her CV, but I'm talking about her actual affidavit for court. Like, so that we could clarify what photos did she actually look at to talk about water damage. When she says, yeah, I saw the photos of the phone and there was no water damage. Well, the whole issue, I'm going to tell you guys, in my opinion, with this whole water damage thing, she just saw pics, but we don't know which ones, right? Is if there's water damage, I have two issues with this. Well, technically I have three issues with this. So I'm just going to go from here. To me, the phone looks like it has like a sprinkling of water on it. You can see like some dew on top of it, which is weird because there's supposed to be a shoe and a body on top of it. So I'm not really sure like how that's not being absorbed by either the shoe or the body, and how it's just sitting like that. But you know, I'm not an expert on outdoors shit, so I'm just going to let that go because that's not my main issue. That if you can look at the phone and when you're examining it and see that it actually has water damage. So anybody who owns a fucking cell phone out in the world knows that you can get your phone wet, right? I mean, nowadays you can actually just dunk your phone for most of it, but back in the day of the 6S here, you could get your phone wet. Didn't mean that you were going to get water damage, but you could get water damage if you got it wet, if that makes sense. So you see what I'm saying? So just because the phone's wet does not automatically equal the phone has water damage. That does not automatically equal that is what's causing any type of auxiliary changes or whatnot. Okay, thank you, Sleuthie. Now, oh, we did have her affidavit. I thought we did, but it's from the motion to correct error. Thank you. We do have it. I do have that. So that's my first issue. There's a bottom line here is that when the phone was examined, they should be able to tell by looking at it. Typically, it turns a different color. You know, you walk into your cell phone place and they automatically are like, nope, we can't replace this for you. Your insurance isn't going to cover it because it's got water damage. And they just look at the little keyhole thing and that's it. It's done. So I don't know why why anybody is making assumptions about the phone actually having water damage one way or the other from a photo. Like, we should really be able to see from the actual examination of the phone. Like, we should just be able to see from the examination of the phone. Like, I just think that's the bottom line. There should be something documenting whoever examines the phone says, yes, the phone has water damage. And then we all fucking move on. My other issue is so they're trying to pretend that, okay, this is the state's theory on this. So I'm going to try to walk you guys through it the best I can for how my brain works. And you guys know that's not always the easiest thing to do. So if Libby has the cell phone, right? Libby records the BG video. They go across the creek. At 2:32, the phone doesn't move. And I should have my timeline up, but I've got a couple people here who are going to know this off the top of their head. Then 2:32, the phone doesn't move. I'm almost positive this auxiliary input is at like 5:44. Somebody will put the correct time if I'm off, but in the late 5 o'clock hour is supposedly when headphones are plugged in. And then it's at like 10:32 p.m. that the headphones are unplugged, right? So I may be off on my time right there, but that's the general vicinity of it. So, but that's the point is 2:32, the phone doesn't move. So what they want us to believe is that the phone gets dirt and water inside this auxiliary port, okay? And it doesn't actually happen until the phone has been sitting there for a couple of hours, at least. And then the phone dries out or the dirt falls out at approximately 10:32 p.m., right? So it's no longer wet. It no longer has an issue with water or dirt. That's not a issue anymore at 10:30. But then come 12:15, when the girls are found, it's wet again. And so the photo that we're looking at here should tell us exactly what happened to the phone approximately 24 hours before it. Does anybody else see an issue with trying to use this photo from February 14th, which we know has to be after 12:15 p.m. and must be much later than that, because you have to think they have to photograph the girls, right? They have to photograph the scene. The girls aren't removed from the scene right away. Then you have to photograph all the stuff around there. You have to photograph it with the shoe. You have to photograph it on its own. So you're talking a few hours later, approximately 24 hours later, this photo is supposed to represent what happened the day before. But yet, remember, they want you to believe that at 10:32 p.m., whatever water was a problem for the phone was gone, because that's why it does an auxiliary out. Does that make sense? Right. But yeah, we could talk about that too. The fact that these are actual crime scene photos, and this would be a problem, because wasn't it Nick who actually requested for the crime scene photos and the autopsy photos to be sealed? I guess maybe we'd have to figure out what he constitutes as crime scene photos. Maybe these aren't considered crime scene photos. So I guess I'm just not understanding the whole point in the argument of the fact that we're supposed to care what this photo shows in relation to what happened at 5:30, 5:44 the day before. But they're telling us not to pay attention to this photo when it comes to what happened at 10:32 p.m. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you're just gaslit into buying into it because that they told you to. Like, this is a very easy explanation. They examined the phone. Did the phone have water damage? Did it not have water damage? And then let's talk about what happens if the phone actually had water damage. Because I'm pretty sure they talked about all the things that they found on the phone, including the BG video, that could have been corrupted if they were trying to get it directly off the phone if the phone had water damage. Because they're not just getting it from the cloud, right? Low light. I have a lot of tabs open. Yeah, you can see Abby's rolled over body at the edge of Exhibit 11. Oh, do I even want to show that then? Well, where's the shoe? Why would, if she's still there, why wouldn't they have removed her? Hey, Patty. I wondered whose jeans those were, Sleuthy, cameraman or Abby. I wonder. I don't know. I mean, you can't. You can't be sure, but it is very interesting that. But then, where's the shoe? So they wouldn't. They shouldn't be photographing any of this until she's removed from the scene. Yeah, why does it look like? I don't know. That's tough. Like over here, it definitely looks like more like ashy. But is it because of nighttime and the light that they have on it? But then these, like, they're like muddy. They're like yuck. But these look like they've been burned. Like they're almost like an ash. All right, hold on. Let me pull this up. Who's Attorney Joseph Baldwin? Wow. I'll look at that one in a second. Idiots. Bunch of idiots. Okay, let me see. So this is her affidavit. I have this. Let me just pull it up for my downloads. Google Drive downloads. Where is my motion to correct error? There it is. Okay, motion to preserve, motion to correct error hearing, Kathy Allen, Eldridge affidavit. Okay, let me pull that up. And then I'm going to close this so it doesn't keep going off. Someone just said that my
I'm gonna sit back here in silence so I can give you your stuff without it. Ding, ding.
Oh yeah, I said that. Yeah. Okay, perfect. And you don't have to even be in silence. You can talk whenever the hell you want to. I know you got some shits to say. Okay, so this is her affidavit. So let me go through. That's just her CV. Previously expert, whatever. Apple iPhone 6 were equipped with sensors to indicate water damage. That's why I said this should have been pretty self-explanatory during the examination of the phone. It just literally says this phone has water damage. Hey, Mother of Dragons, thank you.
Were you asking for the motion to correct error?
No, I got it. I
Okay.
was looking for this affidavit. There was no indication in the data for Miss German's iPhone 6S that indicated the sensor identified water damage to the phone. That exactly I would expect to find evidence of the water damage notification that is displayed to the user to be present on the iPhone. I believe the following extractions and reports produced by the state of Indiana in the discovery in this matter. Okay, there's all their reports. None of the above reports or extractions contain evidence or dirt or water damage. Yeah, right there with you. The phone does not appear to be wet, dirty, or covered in debris in any of the pictures. Okay, so this is tough because she doesn't actually say what picture she saw.
Just the ones taken by Indiana State Police, but that could have been at like the lab, I guess.
Could have been at the lab, yeah.
So,
So,
but if you keep going though, she says where she says that she like reviewed the chain of custody and nobody documented that when they collected it that it was dirty. Yeah, right there.
right.
17.
Okay, here we go. So I reviewed the chain of custody for Libby's iPhone 6S, and it did not document that it was received in a wet, dirty, or damaged condition upon receipt. iPhones that have recent water damage are known to reboot spontaneously, requiring multiple attempts to complete the extract. Hey, that's what I just said. To complete the extraction with the forensic tool. No instances of this were documented. It would make it, if they're taking that information, such as the BG video or any of the bridge photos or anything along those lines, if they're taking it directly from the phone and the phone has water damage, it could corrupt all of those files. So they don't typically try to download anything directly from a phone if it is actually water damaged in forensics. They would go a different route to try to get the data. So that's what she's essentially saying here too, is like, yeah, you'd have to do different things to be able to extract this with a forensic tool. And no instances of that are documented, showing that there's no water damage. They didn't do, if there was water damage, they didn't do any of the steps you'd need to do to actually extract the data from a water damaged phone.
I also would assume that she would see all the reboots like over and over again as well.
Right. Because it'll automatically just start shutting down. So I am currently unaware of any scientific or technological research suggesting that water or dirt damage to an iPhone 6 would cause the phone to inaccurately log wired headphones in or wired headphones out. For me, I think that it's a moot point because those photos are from Tuesday evening. We don't know when this moisture got on here. There's a shoe on top of it, and then there's a body on top of that. How long is there no shoe and no body? This is just like not this. These photos are really irrelevant to the cause of what happened the day before at 5 and 10.
Well, he's trying to lie and say that she said that there was no water, dirt, or whatever, and he sees those little droplets, and he says, see for yourself, it's buried in debris.
But that's my point. So that's why I wanted to know if she actually specified what photos she saw. Are they saying this item was filed on 2/4? Yes, because these are the evidence photos that they're attaching to the state's response to the motion to correct the error. So they're using these pictures as evidence, as exhibits in this filing. So that's why they're from 2/4.
But if you look at that discovery thing that I didn't send you the whole document, I don't think. I just circled that thing because he's a royal dumbass. Um, whatever the date on that is, I think is when it includes the phone stuff. I have to look and see if the pictures were like. I think he gives a date of when these were turned over. But seeing as how he
Yeah.
doesn't,
When we go to the actual discovery stuff, I think he does too. Hold on. I want to find. Did I save it or no? Is this the right one? Nope, that's 10. All right, hold on one second, because I want to be able to move this around. So.
and in case anybody's interested, though, I do have to open my computer really quick and do like the I think they call them. I think they're called chips, where it's like not a long ass link. It's just like a that I put in my spreadsheets, where it's just like the name of it. It's a nice little chip, I guess. I have to turn them into that, which I will. But I've added like basically all the filings are now in the spreadsheet, the Delphi one.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Are you talking about like when you add like the links?
Like if I add a link to YouTube or one of my Google Docs, instead of it being like a long, ridiculous link that you don't know what it is unless you click on it,
Mm-hmm.
I guess transform it into what it calls, I believe it's called a chip. And it basically is just like it says the name of the document. That way you're not looking all over, clicking in a bunch of different things, trying to figure out what they are.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna try to pull this photo up because I want to take this.
So this would mean that they took these photos after they rolled. You can see Abby right there. Um, they rolled her over, removed the shoe. It's out of view, and took this photo. Just so we can all get an idea of what all had to happen for this. So we moved the shoe out of frame, but not Abby.
Right. I don't. That's what I don't understand is why would they not have already removed Abby before they're even looking at any of this?
Susie in the lower left corner. I also spot something blue.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna put it this way.
Now it's the top left corner.
Right up here.
But at the bottom towards you, I see something blue. Down further. Right there.
Right here.
Yeah. Oh, a leaf? I'm sorry. They look charred to me. They look dry as shit and charred and missing
Yeah, but I
pieces
think
because
that's
they look
the
like they
light.
were on fire.
Because they have like a crime scene light like right on top of it, which is making all this look. It does. It makes it look burned, but I mean the reality is if you burn a bunch of leaves, they're gonna disintegrate. But I think it's just the lighting making them that color. And
Well,
then after snow, which you're very familiar with, all your leaves just turn to
girl,
stone.
don't even go there right now with me because I just checked the weather and next Tuesday we're getting 7 to 9 inches and Wednesday we're getting another 4 to 5. So I can't even go there. It's a good thing we're watching a trial because I just might not make it.
Oh yeah, you just stay indoors.
I
Just
can't do it
ignore it.
again.
Okay, the phone was dead when Bunner received it. Sergeant Gilbert took the phone from the autopsy where it was swabbed to
Yeah.
Bunner.
Bunner literally plugged it in, turned it on, and then took photos like of the screen with his phone. He didn't take screenshots. He took photos of the phone with his phone. Like, I don't know if it was his phone, but used a phone to take photos of the phone. And therefore then cut off data that was on the screen that you couldn't see because of the way he had it.
So that's what I'm saying. So this whole the phone was water damaged. I don't understand. They would not be doing that. That's not how you would extract it forensically. The phone looks like it's almost buried. And did they say that her case was purple? I think they did, but then somebody was telling me that they thought it wasn't purple, and then they got in my head about it. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like a purple Gryffindor. I remember it was
it was
Gryffindor.
Harry Potter Gryffindor, but I just wanted to make sure that it was actually purple. The internal log on the phone extraction and the user's screen saying headphones are two different things. No? The internal log on phone extraction and the user's screen saying headphones. Yes. Two different things, correct. But the internal log has the code. That's what she was able to interpret as the auxiliary in and auxiliary out. I think that's where you're going with that. Saying the shoe was on top of the phone could have been the toe part of the shoe, like not completely covering the phone, and the phone would have likely moved with the shoe when the body was lifted up. I get, for me, I'm just like, this photo doesn't have anything to do with what happened the day before. Because you're talking about temperatures that have completely changed from 24 hours prior. And like, so if you want to say that that by this photo, it has to have water damage, you're going to have experts come on that are going to be able to say, like, over this amount of time and during this, from 5 o'clock to whatever. It's just like, they don't care about actually proving anything. They're just like all willy nilly, just like, oh, here you go. Look, it's got some water on here, so it must have water damage. But then every other step that they take after that doesn't actually make it seem like the phone truly has water damage. Because if it did, then that would have been part of the initial reports when the phone was examined, and they wouldn't have been able to do those extractions the way that they did them, or as easily as they did them. That's the bottom line. Dust and debris can clog your earphone jack, but it takes a lot of work with a Q-tip and alcohol to get it out. Dirt might create a false connection, but it makes no sense that the earphones are unplugged after. Right. It would. This water or dirt theory would make sense to me if it was one. It would. I mean, I guess I'd give it more credence. I don't know if it would make sense to me. I guess I'm going way too far saying that, but I would give it more credence if it was just one. Like, oh, water damaged. Here's your here's your headphones are being plugged in, and then that's it. You know what I mean?
One of my questions would be, like, if you zoom in on the phone case, I don't know if it's that one. The one I'm looking at is 9. Or that one works too. I mean, but like if you zoom it in, look at the edges. See how it's all dirty? Yeah. It's like if she looked at the pictures of the phone that were provided by ISP, let's say, like after they get it back to the lab or wherever, and what's his face plugs in the thing to start his taking pictures of the phone. Like, I don't think she would have said that there was nothing on the phone. Like, did they take the case off? Is that how she viewed it? Like, with the case off? Did he have the case off when he was taking pictures of it, and that's what she saw? Or
that's what I'm wondering. We don't know exactly what photos. So like, it's just very like basic of, we looked at photos and she looked at photos and we said two different things. And then everybody just goes, well, they looked at the same photos. And it's like, nobody ever said they looked at the same photos. We have no fucking idea what photos she looked at. I mean, at least I don't remember what photos she said she looked at. That's morning dew or frost from morning. I agree with you. Well, then I gotta put my sweatshirt on. I just think you're talking almost 24 hours later, and then with these photos. So even if you're using these, it doesn't make sense why whoever was examining the phone, if they're the expert, they would be able to tell you whether the phone actually registered water damage or not. That's my thought process.
I just personally think that it's not that simple to get dirt inside that thing.
Is this the shoe? Or is this just leaves and I'm just seeing shit in this right here?
I could see how you think that's a shoe, but I don't think it is.
It's not? Okay.
It's too small compared to the phone.
Well, I think it's with the leaves and stuff on it over here. But you're right. It would kind of be small the way that it is. Yeah, we all have. Yeah, we do. Okay, so just a couple things about the phone to go over. The PCA and the affidavit for a search warrant, both, even though they are a little different from each other. Hold please, let me find what I'm looking for. Both are wrong, and we already knew they were wrong because the state actually states that the state says that the phone, the iPhone 6S, is found under Libby's body at the scene, and they recovered the video. So they say that they don't say anything about this, like shoe, all this other stuff. They just say that the iPhone 6S is under her body at the scene. So we don't learn that it was actually under Abby until the Franks memo. And then they put in there that it was under Abby's left lower back, a shoe was found. The shoe is believed to be Libby's shoe, and under the shoe, a cell phone was found. The cell phone was later determined to be Libby's phone. So the defense was provided 2 photos of the shoe and cell phone found under Abby's legs and marked them here.
So we
So
don't have that.
no, we don't have that. It's not a shoe. I was just probably just seeing shit. So don't worry about that.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that thinks that looks like fire. Like them leaves
No,
were
I
on
agree.
fire.
It looks like fire, but I don't think that it. I think it's actually from the lighting, but that's just me. Because let me go. Maybe it's not this one. Maybe it's this one. Is this one upside down? No. It's this side, right? This side is this side is this side. So you can see the difference in the coloring of the. Look at the leaves on the opposite side of what I just pointed at. So look at the leaves over here. So here, those leaves look charred. See that? Here, they're more brown. And over here, they're back to like yucky colors. See what I mean? Yeah, that's where we were talking about that. So the shoe is in the middle of pick, maybe a little down from middle. Looks like the shoe sole. Do you know in the middle of which pick? Which one? 9, 10, or 11? This is 9. This is 10. This is 11. I feel like I'm at the freaking eye doctor. Which one do you see better? Yeah, they should be. Absolutely. But they didn't show us that photo. Looks like fire, but from someone who hikes, it looks like decomposition of leaves closest to the ground. Yeah.
So one would need to. So the other photos that were going around, I don't remember noticing any leaves looking like this. Like, because I feel like immediately, because when I saw this, my first thought was those look like they were lit on fire. And I don't remember thinking that.
About the other photos?
Yeah.
No, because the lighting isn't like that. And then plus those photos got so screen filtered from all the screenshots of sending them back and forth. 9? Okay.
Yeah, but like if you're a crime scene tech and you're taking these photos, which like Andrea takes photos, and she said they did an excellent job with these photos. Like that he was very informed in what he was doing and stuff. And so I just can't imagine screwing up the lighting so much that you make something look like something else entirely. So meaning making the leaves that are, not burnt look burnt just simply because of lighting. That wouldn't be accurate. I personally I think they look burnt.
You think they look burnt? I'm fine. That's fine. We can go with that. They look burnt. We're
Because
never
like
gonna know.
the edges
We're
of
never
the,
gonna
like, I'm just looking at
know.
parts where like the leaves, parts of them are missing, and it just looks like they were just singed off. I don't know. No, and probably none of them had
Doesn't look like a
scales
tablet
either.
to me at all. No, doesn't show the directionality of it at all. Exhibit 10 was turned by Barbara McDonald. Okay, I turned 11. I turned 11 because I wanted to see this right here, and if that looks like jeans. I almost want to try to see. Is it jeans or is that the sweatshirt? Hey Oz, thank you for the super sticker.
It kind of looks like the jeans to me because they were darker.
Well, the sweatshirt was black.
Well, that in the bottom, but that looks like the jeans. Yeah, that looks like jeans to me.
Hmm.
I mean, it could be where the jeans met the sweatshirt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it could be like here and here. Yeah, I don't know, it could just be shadows. Who knows? Hi, I usually just lurk, but my husband was an iPhone tech for years. I'm going to ask him what the phone screen looks like. He's seen everything. Perfect. And well, thank you for popping in with that helpful info too. I really feel like we're looking at desaturation here, like post edits. Yeah.
Well, that
These can
wouldn't
get
be great either.
dry over and over again and rot. That's how they look to me, and then they have like the light on them. That's how I see it, but that's what I said. I mean, they're never going to tell. They're never going to tell us what it is. They're just so it's almost like, do we believe them if they even did tell us? I have no idea, Kelly G. I don't remember all the trees that were out there. I know they tell us what kind of tree, like the F tree was, but I just don't remember, to be honest with you. It wasn't information I retained. Mother of Dragons thinks the phone looks like it was burned. That's interesting. I don't see a shoe in any of them, but that's just me. Just FYI. I don't know. I don't see a shoe in any of the photos. There's like this weird little metal thing here though. You see this like weird metal-y frame thing? I wonder what that is. You see what I'm talking about? Or is that just like the way that those sticks are? I don't know. That doesn't look like sticks. It looks like a little metal shard.
Zoom
Maybe it
in.
was not. Yeah, I don't know. I can't tell either. Okay. Any other thoughts on this that we want to talk about with the phone? I don't see a cord. I know somebody else said they thought they saw a cord. I don't see a cord. This looks like a little metal piece. It doesn't look like a cord to me. Jamie, that's the $1 million question. Right? They have no evidence markers in any of their fucking photos. It drives me insane. Yeah, some of the sticks look freshly broken. Okay, so any other thoughts? Anything else that you wanted? I don't know, like a little framing piece of metal. I don't know. It's just what it looked like to me. I have no idea if that's what it is. It could just be a little stick, and just the angle of it makes it look that way. That's really hard. I couldn't tell you one way or the other. I mean, I could come with all kinds of stuff that we see in here. The lighting sucks. Agreed.
This reminds me of those books. Do you remember? I forget what they're called, but I'm sure someone will remember. We used to get these books in the library, that were
Highlights.
like really big, and each page, like each double page, had a different scene. Like it would be a bunch of leaves, or it would be like a bunch of buttons, and within it you would find the different things. Yeah, was it I Spy? I think it was I Spy.
I Spy. There you
The
go.
I Spy books. That's what this looks
I
like.
always did hidden pictures. Yeah, they're saying I Spy.
I think it was I Spy. I vividly remember that book. This is what that feels like.
Like you could find all kinds of stuff in here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like this looks like a upside down phone case. Like, see, that's a little camera spot. You know, I could come up with all kinds of stuff, but I don't want to do that. I just wanted to talk about the phone and the fact that I don't think people should be taking these photos as seriously as the state wants you to believe that they are. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
Also, at the time the photos were taken, whatever damage was, whatever dirt and whatever was in it that made the headphones plug in, would have had to clear itself to be gone, to be unplugged by 10 something. So this was then hours and hours after, almost 12 hours after that. Which I think is the point you were trying to make earlier, is like, what does, if that is dew or condensation on it, what does that have to do with something that happened 12 hours prior?
Exactly. But people are like, oh, see, here's the photos, and everything's wet, and that proves everything that happened the day before. It's like, oh, whatever, you fucking idiot. That's just dumb. It doesn't make sense about at all. What is this? Oh, this is the state's response. Okay, this is what we're talking about from that one. So he said that the affidavit from Stacey Eldridge supports that alleges that an affidavit by Stacey Eldridge supports that dirt or water did not cause the damage in the auxiliary jack in order to log wired headphones. They allege that this is newly discovered evidence that would probably produce a different result at a new trial. She testified that she did not support any report log, or she did not submit any report log or any other information that supported her position that the log accurately supports that headphones were plugged into and later unplugged from the auxiliary jack, because it was already the log was already created, and she didn't. That evidence came off of their log
It's so strange
from
because
them.
he concedes to the fact that that data was there and was always there. They just didn't know what it was, what it meant.
The prior to her testimony, Stacey Eldridge had only done one other. That's just them talking shit about her, which I think is irrelevant because she didn't go Google search her shit. That the bulk of her expertise is in computer and forensics. That the state called Sergeant Cecil to rebut it. That Sergeant Cecil was able to observe photos of the phone when it was found, herein attached as States Exhibits 9, 10, and 11. Testified that one plausible explanation for the log entry was that dirt or water in the jack caused a malfunction. I don't think he says anything else here that's relevant to this. Whether or not it was water, that there was water damage can only be determined by physically examining the phone, which Stacey Eldridge did not do. That cracks me up. But they don't have the people who actually examine the phone don't have that either. And he even goes with his own expert up here and says he was able to look at the photos and he saw that there was water. Fucking stupid. This guy, I don't know. I'm just really getting to the point where I do not like this guy.
He's real gaslighty.
Right? Okay, so I think that really covers it. I don't think these photos have anything to do with what we care about when it comes to what happened with the phone the day before. Okay, we don't need hers anymore. I'm just trying to get rid of some of the shit that I don't need so my computer will run faster. I tried to pull up some of the stuff that we were talking about yesterday when we were reading through it. I don't remember if I got everything, but I tried to get what I could. Okay, so that was number 4. Number 3 is about Reese Davis. I pulled something up for this that I had a question about yesterday, and now I don't remember exactly what it was. So give me a second, unless you remember. Defense next argument was Reese Davis made a confession to him, said claim being newly discovered evidence entitling the defendant to trial. Under the state's motion in limine concerning third party, the defense had 3 days to present evidence to meet their burden. They mentioned Ron Logan, but failed to meet their burden with the court. They chose not to present this evidence in that hearing. They also did not present this evidence when they renewed their motion during the trial. This now comes by the defense in the use of motion to correct error. That this evidence, along with the video surveillance evidence from the residence, that's the Brad Weber stuff. Why did I pull up the Ron Logan search warrant? What question did we have about that?
I don't know. I feel like we'll remember once we get to the spot.
Well, that's why I'm reading it, but I don't remember it now. She was dealing with methamphetamine. Mr. Davis gave a statement that alleged Ron Logan confessed to him that he killed the older girl first. And they took it that he killed the victim later, then brought her back to the scene, that he went back to the scene after the search. Oh, I know what it was. It was that they lied and said that there was no proof that he was at the crime scene.
Oh, yeah.
Done. Yeah, that was an easy one. And I just pulled it. I pulled this up just to show that that's not true. They actually do show that he was at the crime scene.
In fact, it's an entirely different, they use entirely different wording than they do when they say that he was like near the Monon High Bridge at 2
Right.
something.
Hey, Nancy.
They specify he was outside of his home and in proximity to the girls.
Oh, we were talking about the battery thing, which, I mean, you can remove an iPhone battery. It's not the easiest thing to do, but it absolutely can be done.
It's
You can
not
remove
super easy.
an
You
iPhone
just have to
battery.
take the screen off.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, for them, then they have to go back and put that on there. I'm just thinking, I don't know about Ron Logan doing all that out in the
Now,
woods.
one thing you could do extremely easily, like hardly trying at all, is take out the SIM card.
Yes.
So would an old man with a flip phone know what a battery versus, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, Silky Southern Tea. Hey, Purple. Okay, but it was on here. So I'm hearing that there's a lot of people now who just think that Nicole, hi Dom, and Four Pits, that a lot of people just think that Nicole Robertson's just a big fat liar. I don't know where we're coming up with that. Like, we trust the law enforcement, but we
Yeah.
don't
No,
trust
she
that
wanted
law.
to be the one to solve the case.
Like,
Remember?
what?
Yeah, she wanted to be
And
the.
she doesn't go out there and even bother doing the search herself. She wants to solve the case because she wrote an affidavit. Do you know that a lot of the times that people who write the affidavits don't actually have tons to do with the case? Because
That's
they're
just
writing.
the word on the streets.
That's so weird to me. Okay. I'm like, okay. Let me see where it is in here, though. That's him lying about his alibi. Where's the one about his phone? Is that in the other doc, or is it in this one? Here, on March 12th. Nope, that's the other one. That's the friend lying. Da 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 da. Here it is. It was in the so an analysis of Logan's cell phone data revealed a text message was received by his phone at 10:16 p.m. on February 13th. The initial exam of this analysis indicates that Logan's phone was likely outside of his residence and in the proximity of where LG and AW's bodies were located.
So this sounds like they were using like the extraction of his phone, not pings.
No, cell phone data revealed. Yeah, it's like it looks like it's like an initial. It can't
Yeah.
be. I don't think it's pings because it's talking that he's outside of his residence.
No, it sounds like this is based off of like an extraction of his phone.
So at 10:16 p.m., he is in the area of the bodies, and then so Nick is saying that he wasn't even around the crime scene.
Well, the phone data is only accurate when it's Libby's phone.
Oh, that's true. So another analysis of also in the analysis of Logan's cell phone data revealed a text message was sent from his phone at 7:56 p.m. The initial exam of this analysis indicates that Logan's phone was likely outside of his residence and in the proximity of where LG and AW's bodies were located. So now you have it at 7:56 p.m. and 10:16. Then you have the earlier one, a call placed using Logan's cell phone produced cell tower data. This one tells you it's cell tower data that shows Logan's cell phone appears to be in or around his property at 2:09 p.m. Although his exact location cannot be confirmed, the tower data shows that Logan's cell phone was in the Delphi area, in the area of the Monon High Bridge. Yeah, me too. I want to see that too. The geofencing. So you have him around his house and out on the property around 2:09 based on the cell tower, based on the cell phone data, which is the extraction from his phone. 7:56 and 10:16, he is in the vicinity. Now, does that make him the murderer? No, but it does make Nick a liar who says that he wasn't even near the crime scene. Where he says that, where is it at? Is it in this one right here? No evidence, here it is. No evidence places him at the scene of the murders. So the FBI just all willy-nilly went and had probable cause to get a search warrant for Ron Logan's house. And yet there's no evidence that places him near the scene of the murders.
He then goes on to say, like, unlike the defendant, and then lists things that don't even put him at the scene necessarily, puts him
Right.
like at the bridge, which they could also sort of put Ron Logan.
So,
and we all looked at Ron like that day or the next day, and he was also wearing the same exact clothes that Bridge Guy was wearing. So, like,
right.
that doesn't really mean much to me either.
Okay, so that's the Ron Logan one. So he lies about Stacey Eldridge. He lies about Ron Logan. Now we'll go up, and I think this one is the Brad Weber one, which I think we all know. We've already proven that that's a lie. I don't think we even need anything from that one. The big one I think that I pulled up other docs for is the first one when it comes to the safekeeping hearing and all of the affidavits and shit that go along with that. So let me just double check the rest of these real quick so I can go through if there's anything on. Nope, that's initial hearing. That's the transfer. That's for that one. That's the attorney. That's still all safekeeping. That's still safekeeping. Safekeeping. We'll talk about this one last because it's a lot to go over. This is just Eldridge's CV, which we don't necessarily need. We already went through the photos. Okay, so the last one, I think, do we need to go over the Brad Weber stuff? I think we're all pretty much on the same page when it comes to the Brad Weber shenanigans. I think we touched on that a lot yesterday anyway. No, these are all exhibits. There's 11 of them. So most of them have to do with the safekeeping. And then one of them is the, we're going to go through one of the major ones. One of them is Stacey Eldridge's CV. This will be one of the big ones that we go through in just a minute, but I wanted to cover the basis from where we left off yesterday first, and then we'll get into that. And then there's the 3 photos of the phone. So now we're going to go into the safekeeping stuff and the attorney stuff. So that's number 1 on his response from yesterday. It has all to do with the safekeeping order with the 6th and the 14th Amendments, where he's saying that the defendant, it's not a critical stage, blah, 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 that the defendant didn't say that he had an attorney, and that's his own fault. He should have said he had an attorney, and he didn't, and that he didn't have, it's not his responsibility to go ahead and say that, and not that he knew he had an attorney. But then there's an email from the attorney saying he's not going to represent him, and it goes over all this stuff with like the Tobe Lesenby filed a request, and this, that, and the other. But this is where the lies come in. So this is what I really want to focus on, is the Tobe Lesenby parts. Hold on, I got a message real quick.
I tweeted all the exhibits, Indiana girl, the ones that were in this filing.
I think that Tammy dropped them all in the chat too. Tammy, are you in here, Tammy?
I saw her. I don't feel like it was that long ago, but maybe it was.
She sent me a screenshot, I'm sure it has probably to do with this whole shoe situation. And I think it's the same spot that I was thinking was the shoe with the white Nike stripe, but I don't want to go. I don't want to go back to that. We could just stay on the shoe stuff for a very long time, and I don't want to do that. Like with the white Nike stripe. But I don't know if that's what she was talking about in this photo that she sent. I don't know.
The
Okay.
timestamp of the transfer station was off in
Yeah,
that
but
PCA.
yeah, but how do we even know that? Who validated it? Or we just
Well, she said. I think what Sweet Dude Chibi's trying to say is basically that was an issue. I think most of these things here come down to like rules for thee and not for me.
well, that's why I was being facetious because in this he talks about the Brad Weber video, and he's like, and they're just making assumptions based on the fact that it's daylight and not nighttime, but we don't actually know how far away it is or what time
And
it actually is.
also, there was also the
That's literally what he
ping,
does.
and also if there was a hearing, I'm sure there were additional things that confirmed that timestamp.
He would know because they investigated it, right? Brad Weber was a suspect at one time, so they would have all that information from that video that was in their own discovery and know exactly when Brad Weber got home. I facetious to you.
What's funny is he says, okay, so in their affidavit, they say that from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. that they were looking at, there were no other vehicles. There was no other van that went down there. So let's say wasn't 12 hours off. Let's say, and I'm just saying this hypothetically because I am of the belief that the timestamp is correct. Let's say it's 13 hours off, 14 hours off.
Right.
Well, then you don't have Brad going down that road at all. So that wouldn't be great for you either.
No, none of it was going to work out for him. So that's why he just went in there and was like, no, they don't even know what they're talking about, and they should have just gone with the impeachment instead. See, I feel like that could be the shoe. I don't know. I'll look into it more.
So basically, they shouldn't have trusted anything that he turned over. Then is that what he's saying? Nothing that he sent can be trusted.
Well, if they investigated Brad Weber to see when he got home and what time he was released from work and all this stuff because they thought he was a suspect in the freaking murders, they would know the time difference of that freaking video from when they got it. Right?
Also, I just want to. I'm trying to be as clear as possible. So, additional evidence. If he was wanting more proof that the timestamp was correct, that could be presented at the hearing, or he could debunk it at a hearing. Okay, but you have to also remember that just his ping at the house at 250, just minutes after he's seen on camera, there was other activity in that area also on camera that could be used to confirm the timestamps. So when the police went up there to go check his barn or whatever that story is, and knock on his door and he was sleeping and whatnot, all those stories,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so and so saying that they were driving that way because they were going to go help search. And what time their phone ping. Like there are a multitude of ways that they could confirm that timestamp. I think it's quite silly to think that they were just going based off of the sunlight and the ping. I think he knows that.
Well, yeah, but he doesn't want to take accountability for any of it. Hold on.
Also have to keep in mind with, like, I won't disagree about ineffective count. Like, I anticipate at some point in the post conviction process that like ineffective assistance of counsel will come up. Um, it often comes up. However, if they had interviews of Brad Weber, a deposition of Brad Weber, all this information all the way through August of 2024, shortly before trial, and that information did not say that he was going down the road at 2:30 or whatever, and instead it said 3:30, then they wouldn't really necessarily know until he came out of his face at trial and said that it was 2:30. And they would have to have the type of brain that says, oh, in the 20 terabytes of data that I reviewed, I vividly remember seeing a video where I saw a white van that was going by at 2:44. I think that's the, the expectation is too high for that, number one. And number two, you also have to take into consideration that when they were going to cross-examine him, she limited the piss out of what they could do on cross-examination. He was constantly objecting that it was outside the scope of direct. Over and over again, repeatedly. That was when, if you all remember, when Baldwin just decided to hand him a subpoena to have him come back to testify. And when he did, you can only do like so much. I mean, they'd have to have somebody to authenticate the video. Let's say Holman is the one that collected the video. If they put Holman on the stand and he says he doesn't remember collecting the video, he doesn't know if the timestamps are correct, like it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Does that make any sense?
Well, my point is that if it's his evidence, he would know. But I mean, you're right that it
Well,
wouldn't
that's the
matter.
point of the motion, but it's
Right.
getting over people's heads is that is the point of the motion, is that Nick should have he called that man as his witness.
Right.
And
So
he
here's
knew that he was going to testify to when he returned home, so he should have had evidence to corroborate that, which he did. He's admitting
so
he had it.
here's your ethics of evidence for the state of Indiana, and it says that the ethics of evidence as questions of rules, they usually frame the discussion in terms of if it's one clear rule. An attorney may not create, use, or rely on evidence the attorney knows to be false.
I'm
So,
sorry, but we know he does. We know he does that. He did it after the trial, in another trial, where the only person he had to fool was a judge. Imagine the audacity to think you were like putting one over on a judge and not like 12 jurors.
well, yeah, I think that he was putting it over on the 12 jurors is easier.
Yeah,
we,
100%.
we listened to the one juror. She was like, he was so nice. I loved him. I wanted to sit in his chair. So that's under their own ethics of evidence, and I'm pretty sure that's pretty consistent across every state. So, but I wanted to make sure I pulled it up for Indiana. So whether he thinks that it should have been used as an impeachment or not, to me is irrelevant when he knowingly allowed his own witness to lie on the stand when he had the evidence to support that his witness was lying. So he
Correct.
knowingly allows Brad Weber to sit up there and lie. And
And
that's
then
like,
incorporated that lie into his closing argument.
yes. And that's, I mean, it's part of his entire timeline.
They did press not Brad Holder, Brad Weber. They did press Brad Weber about the time he said he got home, but he can only answer what he answers. And then if you remember, they weren't allowed to bring in the one guy. He wasn't allowed to testify remotely. And the only other person that was physically there for that interview that they brought him in, showed him his notes saying that Brad Weber said he got home at 3:30, and the man still said it didn't refresh his recollection and he did not know. Like, you can only get so far. I think you can't just show whatever you want. Like, you have to, there's a path that has to be followed to get it there. And
But like who this said, you think if he tried to bring this up when it comes to anything that they weren't going to argue that he was trying to bring in any type of third party evidence?
Yeah.
I mean, like when they try to talk about the gun, he didn't even allow that.
Right.
And she agreed with him. She agrees with Nick. Okay, so the initial hearing and the defendant not having an attorney and all of this fun stuff that he put in as his number one is actually what he puts like the most exhibits to attach to this. Let me see. I'm gonna blow it up so you guys can actually see. Here's like the order on the initial hearing. I mean, some of this is not stuff that's like overly relevant. But the biggest part for me, I want to show you guys. This is the email.
This is relevant, in my opinion.
Yeah. The email from Brett Gibson, which was the attorney that Kathy Allen had paid $5,000 to, on November 3rd of 2022 at 9:58 a.m. At this point, I do not believe I will be hired to represent Richard Allen going forward. I want to send him a letter of disengagement so there is no confusion. Can you confirm with me where he is so that I can send him a disengagement letter? November 3rd is the same day as the quote-unquote proceeding where
Note the time.
Diener just signs off on putting him into safekeeping. But remember, their whole thing is that all of this started on the 2nd. So even with Nick's own, if we just went with the basic of Nick's own story here, on the 2nd, when all of this started, and they're going to have this meeting on the 3rd, Nick would have known that he still actually had an attorney.
Also, the timestamp of that email is 9:58 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the order was signed at that time. And he also hadn't sent the letter. He didn't even know where he was located. So technically, he hadn't sent him the disengagement, and he still was his attorney. And Nick had an opportunity to tell him that a motion was filed by Tobe, and he didn't.
Correct. Attorney Joseph Baldwin. The safekeeping request is dated the 2nd. Yeah, there's no reason that he wouldn't have been contacted at that point. And they keep saying, well, there wasn't an attorney on record, so they didn't. But after talking to all the attorneys that we have now at this point, they're like, that is irrelevant. Once Nick was notified that he had an attorney, he had an obligation to contact and let the court know that he had been contacted by an attorney that was representing Rick Allen. Okay, so this is now, give me a second so I can find this real quick. I closed this and had to bring it back up. Let me see if it's in this one. Come on, keyboard. T, you should really look at the Orion stuff in this exhibit. In what exhibit? I think the one that has all the discovery stuff, that's what we're gonna do, but we're gonna do it last because it is it's got some interesting stuff in it. But the other ones I wanted to finish from what we started yesterday. Hold on, my keyboard's not working. Sleuthy, talk for a sec.
Oh, that doesn't sound great. Yeah, I can agree with this. Yeah, he totally ignored that. He basically said that, well, now he's saying that he did it because of overcrowding. So I think that's going to be his way to try to shimmy out of it.
Okay, I just had to find it manually because my nothing wants to work from my keyboard. Stupid thing. Anyway, okay, so this is Tobe testifying at the safekeeping hearing. So let me go back over here and let's say I'm going to read to you guys what he says Tobe says. What he says Tobe says. So that on November 2nd, 2022, the Carroll County Sheriff Tobe Lesenby filed a request by the Sheriff of Carroll County, Indiana, to transfer inmate from the custody of the sheriff to the custody of the Indiana Department of Corrections for safekeeping, commonly referred to as a motion for safekeeping, herein attached as State's Exhibit 2. So that's here. This is what they're saying he files, okay? That on November 3rd, the state received an email from attorney Brett Gibson stating that he would not be representing the defendant herein as State's Exhibit 3. It's not necessarily what he said. He said he doesn't believe that he's going to, and he needs to contact Rick. But that's neither here nor there because, according to him, he's just not representing him anymore. That on November 3rd, the court granted the sheriff's motion without a hearing and determined that the defendant was in imminent danger of serious bodily injury. This is when he just repeats himself 15,000 times. This is State's Exhibit 4. So here's your court order from November 3rd. The court further noted that the defendant intended on hiring private counsel, so on and so forth. Okay, so I want to get to this one. That the sheriff had the standing to file the motion for safekeeping because although the defendant was moved to the White County Jail, he was a Carroll County defendant. He was only moved to the White County Jail because the Carroll County did not have sufficient room to house him in a cell by himself, as evidenced by the affidavit of Tobe Lesenby, herein attached as State's Exhibit 5. So we don't have anything that specifically is documented to show him being transferred, and for whatever reason he was transferred from Carroll County to White County. And I don't recall anything in his initial hearing of that coming up. I'll pull that up just in case. Or Sleuthy, if you want to check it too. In the initial hearing on the 28th, do they talk about the fact that they're going to need to move him to White County because it's overcrowded at Carroll County? I mean, they obviously had room for him for the 26th, 27th, and 28th, even though he was under a false name. If anybody asked him his name or what he was in there for, I mean, I don't know how that
The
keeps him
answer
safe
is
from other
no.
prisoners.
No, nothing at all was said about moving him for any reason.
Right. So in that transcript, we don't have any idea why he would be transferred. So they could just make up whatever the hell they want, I guess, if they stay on the same page at this point. But they had room for him when they took him there on the 26th. If they didn't have room for him, why wouldn't they? We got the transport order from Kara's OA. The one from Carroll County to White County? All right, I'll look at that. Or if Sleuthy has way faster fingers than I do to find documents, so maybe she'll find that. The transport order from Kara's OA. Okay. Well, news articles at the time on the 28th say he's being transferred to the IDOC. On the 28th, even though he's only supposed to be being transferred on the 28th from Carroll County to White County. So they don't even have it right. Nor do I see anybody who ever reported that it was overcrowding. And why wouldn't they talk about that in the hearing? That he's being moved. And they say they didn't have sufficient room to house him in a cell by himself, but yet they put him there when he very first was arrested. Okay, so then we have this affidavit by Tobe Lesenby. So this is one of the exhibits. This is exhibit number 5. Correct, Indiana girl. I think that might have something to do with why they want the record to reflect that he was actually arrested on the 26th. I absolutely think so. Gibson said, I don't believe I will be. He didn't say I'm not. Words matter, but not to Nick, Tammy. You know that. Because that's what I was saying. Like he doesn't say he's actually not going to be representing him. He just says, I don't believe I'm going to be. And I need to contact Rick. So this is Tobe's affidavit from the filing of this, that he writes it and dates it. I think it's January 28th. So this is just written for the purposes of this filing. Okay. It says that I'm Tobe Lesenby, blah, blah, blah. October of 2022 was the Carroll County Sheriff, that the defendant was arrested on October 26th and held in the Carroll County Jail until the initial hearing on October 28th, at which time he was transported to Carroll County Circuit Court for said hearing. That afterwards the defendant was moved to the White County Jail due to overcrowding, not pursuant to a safekeeping order. That on November 2nd of 2022, I filed a request by the sheriff of Carroll County, Indiana, to transfer inmate from the custody of the sheriff to the custody of the Indiana Department of Corrections for safekeeping. That in my motion, I cite that the reason for safekeeping is due to the safety and security of the defendant and to protect the jail staff and other officers handling the defendant due to the extensive coverage of the case by an array of various media platforms. So they apparently cannot keep their prisoners safe from those crazy media folk outside the jail. I'm not really sure how good of prison guards these are then, or jail sheriffs. That the court at no time gave me legal advice on the motion pertaining to safekeeping. That there was no attorney listed as an attorney of record for the defendant when I filed my motion. Remember, the second person that Gibson had contact with was Mr. Lesenby. That it is my belief that the motion for safekeeping was in the best interest of the defendant and everyone involved to protect the defendant and everyone else involved in the case. Who? Who else is involved in the case that you have in there? And it's all to protect them from these various media platforms. Yeah, he just wrote this for this filing. Absolutely. Now, we're going to go back to the safekeeping hearing where Mr. Lesenby testified under oath. So Mr. Rosie gives Tobe a document. He says, yes. So Tobe says, yes, I am familiar with this document. Rosie says, all right, and is that the motion that I've just alluded to that was filed by you, signed by you, and filed back in November of 2022? Lesenby says, yes, sir. Rosie, did you draft this motion yourself? Answer, actually, I had presented a similar motion to request, I should say, to the court, and as I recall, the court had actually come up with or provided this particular document. Question. Okay, so let me see if I can ask a more direct question. Did you prepare that motion in your office on a computer, essentially? Answer. I prepared a similar motion to this. Again, the wording was adjusted by the court. Question. Okay, so you prepared a document that we presumably don't have here today, right? I would assume so, yes. Okay, and you presented that document to the court. Yes. And then this was the result. Right. This document. Yes. And then you were asked to sign this. Yes. Who asked you to sign it? The court. Who's the court? Judge Diener. Okay. And that's how this essentially became to be.
Surprise, surprise. Nick let somebody else perjure themselves in an affidavit to cover their asses. Because that affidavit is a lie.
Yeah.
Or his testimony was a lie.
Or his testimony is a lie. Either way, they're perjury. This is so ridiculous to me. Let me go back to it where he says that the court did not give me legal advice. They just gave you legal documents and told you to sign them. Are we going to try to skirt that? It's overcrowding, True Crime Addicted. It's overcrowding to go from Carroll County to White County, but it's safekeeping to go from White County to IDOC. I would love, did they have the warden at White County during the safekeeping hearing? I don't remember.
I believe they did have the White County.
They did too.
Yeah.
Let me take a look real quick for that, because I'm now with this, I'm very curious to see what he actually had to say. I mean, I know we already read through this, but like sometimes like those certain things don't matter until they matter, you know? This isn't going to want to load because I have it too big. Hold on. I feel like they did have the White County sheriff testify. That is the black Nike shoe, BH says. Interesting. Okay. Well, I'll go back and look at the shoe. I don't want to spend my whole life looking at the shoe because I really could. Okay, this is still Tobe. That's Max Baker. Little Maxie. Captain Gary Lewis. Oh, he's Westville, right? Yeah, he's Westville. Does anybody remember which one? This is Schroeder. This is Cass County. Damn it. Did they not have White County? There has to be transfer paperwork. And I'm really curious what's cited on that transfer paperwork. Somebody needs to get a hold of that. Some attorney that's looking at something or other needs to get a hold of the transfer paperwork from the 28th. But did you find that in the in Kara's OA? The transfer request by chance, Sleuthy? If not, I can pull it up when I'm done looking at this. Okay, that's that one.
What am I looking for?
The transfer transfer report from the 28th that is possibly in Kara's OA.
Okay. Let me look.
As of right now, all I see, Sleuthy, is they had the sheriff from Cass County. I knew they had another one up there, but I don't know why they wouldn't have had White County up there, but I guess they didn't really matter because Cass County was who they knew was willing to take them. There's the warden. Bunch of warden, and then that's the end of it. Yeah, no, they didn't have the White County sheriff. But let's see if we can find the transfer order under the OA. That's what Catastrophe said, that it was under there. But this just shows another, so that we have, for his whole number one, this is all a lie. Again, because Tobe is lying. He's lying about what the actual email says, which his own exhibit tells you that he's lying. So 1, 2, 3, 4, we can prove lies in each one of his responses, provable by their own documentation. Oh, that's interesting. I was notified by somebody that is in the area that said, because they had listened to the live yesterday, that Kathy Shank used to actually go to Ron Logan's property, and that Kathy Shank's daughter used to take her daughter there to ride horses. Have you guys heard that? Is that something that's commonly known?
I've heard that.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. like Chris Todd, and you guys give him such a hard time. He's eccentric in his own right.
I wonder if she's thinking of the one where it was like handwritten, where somebody was supposed to show up to court to testify, and then she said they didn't have to.
Oh, it's okay. She said she was confused. Sorry to confuse us. Yeah, the hearing transport order was not from the 28th. So we need to be able to figure out if we can get access to the transport order from 10/28, or one of the attorneys really is the one who needs it. We don't need it. They need it to show what the reasoning was that he was being transferred from Carroll County to White County.
Well, that would be in Tobe's motion. Tobe's motion to have him transferred would be. Oh, see, I don't think there was.
There has to be something from jail to jail. A transfer.
Yeah, I don't think there
jail
was.
to jail. There has to be.
If you look
Because
at
you have to check him into the next jail. There has to be a reason that he's coming from one jail to the other.
But if you look at Tobe's motion, does he say that he's currently housed at the White County jail?
Okay, let's go look and see. This is request for the sheriff, Indiana transfers into the custody of the Indiana Department of Corrections. The aforementioned defendant, Matthew Allen, has been incarcerated since October 26th, and then initially at Carroll County, and then transferred to the White County at my request as the sheriff of Carroll County.
Okay, his request to who?
The defendant has been charged in a high-profile case, creating potential safety and security concerns because of extensive coverage from an array of various media platforms, both mainstream and social, throughout the state. I don't know what that has anything to do with his safety, though. I think that's just silly. Like the media is going to be what, outside? Shibby, you know it's the same person. The defendant has been charged. Okay, I already read that. Because of the aforementioned reasons, as the sheriff of Indiana, I cannot provide the services, attention, or supervision necessary to protect or meet the defendant's needs to ensure, protect, and guarantee the safety of or the security of the defendant's staff or facilities. Well, you don't have him anymore. You already put him in White County. So you don't have to worry about doing this because he's in White County. I respectfully request the court in order approving and directing the transfer of the defendant to the custody of the Indiana Department of Corrections. That agency has already agreed. I will be responsible for transporting or for coordinating transportation arrangements with the Indiana Department of Corrections, the defendant to and from their respective facility. I don't understand how, if you put him in White County, what does it matter? ISP on 10/31. On Friday, October 28th, Allen was formally charged with 2 counts of murder and transported to the White County Jail, where he is currently being held without bond. But they don't say anything about overcrowding. Ever. I can't find any document that says anything about it being overcrowded. Sheriff of White County is Bill Brooks. Yeah, he's Cass County. They only had him on there to say that he would be willing to take him. The formal complaint was filed about the lack of record, and ISP was found to have violated the law, but there was 0 consequences for it. The lack of record on transport orders. Schroeder is Cass, and he's the one who testified that they had room. At least one IDOC policy, he is supposed to be held in the least restrictive environment. Right, well, then they just said that due to his evaluation once he got in there, he had to be locked up. T, why didn't anyone believe RL girlfriend when she identified him and that he was BG? I can pull the Franks back up, but I think they said there was like 12 tips on Ron Logan. There was a bunch of tips on Ron Logan and a bunch of tips on Brad Holder. Have we ever looked under Cray Renfro for that? That's interesting. I wonder. But I mean, if he's being transferred and he's being booked into White County as Richard Allen, That's a great question too, Peggy. That's a rhetorical question. What day did McClelland receive the first letter from RA's lawyer? On the 27th, I believe, but I can go back and check just to be sure. I'm almost positive it was the 27th. Gibson, letter to Carroll County. This is to the Carroll County Sheriff. Please be advised that I have been retained on the 27th. I have been retained to represent Richard M. Allen in certain matters relating to an investigation being conducted by your office. It is my understanding that my client is being detained by Carroll County Sheriff. He will not be giving any statements regarding this matter. If he is currently being questioned, the interview should be terminated. And if you have any questions, please contact me, Mr. Brett Gibson. And this is another Gibson one. What's this one? Oh, that's the receipt. What's this one? That's attached is the letter I sent to Carroll County. I sent to Nick McClelland on October 27, 2022. On October 27th, Kathy notified me that Richard had been arrested. We sent a letter to the Carroll County Sheriff notifying them of my representation. The sheriff confirmed receipt over the phone. However, the jail advised that Richard was not an inmate. I contacted Prosecutor Nick McClelland by email. He called me on my cell phone afterwards. He advised me that Richard Allen was in the Carroll County Jail and that they had him listed under a different name, alias, and he arranged for me to meet with Richard at the jail that evening. Someone from the sheriff's office took me to a meeting room in the jail. It appeared that a regular jail staff did not know Richard was there. And that's the email. And the 27th is the same day that he prepared the probable cause affidavit. Yep. Yeah, the shits. The murder shits. That's a great question, but I don't think anybody. We need to move just one guy. Just one guy. Remember the letter he sent out from the White County that got lost and pushed around? Yeah, that had a White County Addy on it, and they want nothing official saying White County so Tobe could do this. I'm just really curious. There has to be documentation to move him from one place to the other. It's almost like someone dropped RA's file on a desk and said, figure it out. Make this work. Can the public look up the jail roster on that day? I don't know how far back it would go, but you can look up to see how many people are booked and then their release dates. I don't know how much of a task that would be, but I mean, it's a good thought, but somebody'd have to probably put some time into it because I don't know if they have a system that you could actually go back and look like that. Okay, I think I got back to where I was. Yeah, the only records are for the actual Craig Renfro. Diener appears to have taken the arrest log as his work product. White County appears to have accepted RA as a courtesy hold, no order required, so maybe Diener buried the transport records too. Yeah, because that's really the most important part about that is the transfer records, why he's being moved from one place to another, and who's going to pay for it. I feel like Tobe just did a friendly off-the-record arrangement with the White County Jail. They're just like, hey, I'm going to drop this guy off for you, okay? I'm worried about my sheriffs and my guards because of their, for their safety. So I'm just going to drop them off with you and not really tell you anything about why I'm doing that. And just be like, here you go. Because all this quote unquote bloodlust doesn't matter if he's in White County. FOIA the jail census for that time period. They have records, yeah. I just don't know, like, if we could do that on like an online system, but that might be the only way is to like FOIA the. I don't know if they would even. They'd probably fucking send it to Nick, and Nick would be like, "Why are you asking for this?" All right, let's get rid of this stuff now. Make everything move a little faster. That's Rosie's. We don't need that one. We don't need that one. We don't need that one. We don't need that one anymore. We don't need these. Okay, now let's go to this one because this one's like quite interesting and it's kind of in depth. So at the end of, well, kind of throughout Nick's response, he does put in there like, hey, you know, all of this information that they're talking about isn't newly discovered evidence because we gave them all this evidence and we're going to attach the log of what we gave them and that they signed off on receiving for this particular date. Now, I just want to make sure that it's clear to you guys that this is not all they ever gave them. This is what they're getting when they came back on the case. Oh, shit, where is it? Did I lose it? Where'd it go? Okay. So this is, I believe it says January 30th when I was looking for the date earlier. Let me just make sure I'm right. Yeah, January 30th of 2024. So remember, they were just put back on the case after the Supreme Court on January 18th of 2024, and they had already returned all the evidence that they had sorted through and like made a more organized thumb drive where, you know, that got out to the public into the Brandon Woodhouse hands and so on and so forth. I think everybody knows that story. And then they had to give it all back when they were taken off the case, and then they were giving it back. And according to the defense attorneys, it was just a big fucking mess again. Some of the things that he has in this document actually show what kind of mess they were looking at and how everything on these drives is just compiled of just shit all put together. So, Sleuthy, are you back or no?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to go through this with you because I think that you have a lot to say about this too. Okay, so
wait, did you point it out? Wait, how did you even get down this? Oh, wait, is this not the right one? No, this isn't the right one. Yes, it is.
No, I'm just starting it. So I'm going to read through it and then we can stop whenever the hell we want to.
Okay.
Because this is the last big thing. I think we went over all the things from the state's motion or the state's response yesterday and all the lies that we were able to find documented. So this is just a little side rabbity hole kind of thing of like, what is this and why is this and what does this even mean kind of thing.
Well, I think the most important question is, who is Joseph Baldwin?
Who is Joseph Baldwin? That is the big question. Who is Joseph Baldwin?
Like, that's not even close. Not even a close guess.
No, it doesn't even match either one. So it's not even like he put like a Brad Baldwin. You know what I mean? Like fucking him up. No, it's like, who the hell's Joseph Baldwin? Because they were still attorneys of record at the time, they hadn't removed their appearance, so they were still on the record. So as long as they were on the record, they were getting.
No, wouldn't this be when they got back in?
This is right when they got back in. That's why I'm saying that these guys were still on.
Oh yeah.
They hadn't removed they hadn't been removed from the case yet, or these two, Scremin and Librado.
Yeah.
So they have to be titled in here, but I don't know who the hell Joseph Baldwin is. And you'd think that they'd know who the heck the attorney was since they were so adamant about getting rid of them, but whatever. Is his middle name? Is it Andrew Joseph Baldwin? Is that his middle name? That's my nephew's name, is Andrew Joseph. So that's fucking weird. Is that right? Is that his name, Andrew Joseph?
It's not weird. It's weird that he would include his middle name and not his first.
No, it's weird because that's my nephew's name, Andrew Joseph.
No. I feel like Andrew... Do you know any Andrew Josephs? No. Oh, well, maybe it is weird.
Well, no, it's a little... Yeah, Andrew J. Baldwin. Maybe it is, yeah. Maybe it is. He just doesn't bother to put...
His first name?
Nobody else gets
Nobody else's middle name.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's a freak.
Don't forget the lead.
It's a freak. Okay, So this is what was turned over to the defense team on January 30th of 2024. This is not the entirety of what was turned over. This is just what was turned over that day. Like I said,
Also, for the record, I'm inclined to not even believe all of this ended up there, because just because you're writing it out in this little outline doesn't mean you actually turned it over.
I mean, do you think that I would be very curious as like a defense attorney, somebody brings you all of this stuff and you sign off on it like, okay, I'm in receipt of all of this stuff. Do you actually sit down and go, okay, here's one Seagate 3.5-inch, 2 terabyte SATA hard drive?
I would, but I don't
You
think,
think they
I
have
mean, I think,
time to do that?
no, but like I would have to. Like if I'm going to sign it and accept that you've given it to me, like I would have to. I would feel compelled to, but not everybody's that way, and they didn't have the time. They also just got back on, and you have to remember that when they first got back on, this might be what they got that day, but they were getting back all the discovery.
Right. So
So
I'm like, I don't think they're just sitting down and actually looking at like, okay, so you did send me this right here. Let me make sure that this right here, that this hard drive has these exact things on it and these exact things on it. And then go to the next one. Okay, here's the next part. And let me make sure it has all of these things. Hey, Noe.
yeah, I don't
You know what
think
I mean?
so.
Like, I don't think anybody's doing that.
No, I think they hand them like a
A
bunch of
box of
stuff, and
shit.
they say, "Here's the receipt of what it all is. Sign your name at the bottom, and you just sign it."
And if something's missing, contact us and we'll find it.
I even think at some point in this document he says that some things, well, we'll see whenever we get to it, but I'm pretty sure that there's like a footnote somewhere that says that some things might not be in here.
Okay. All right, so first thing on the list is Allen's jail calls, the inmate phone calls between Allen while at Carroll County Jail, White County Jail, and Westville IDOC. All Westville calls to 12/1/23, because that's when he gets transferred down to Wabash. Is right around that. I think it was the third, but neither here nor there. The inmate text or email data related to Allen and the GTL account payment information provided by Westville and GTL. That's their communication, their tablets and things like that. So also on here is evidence. It's Betsy Blair's Fitbit, the
I'm assuming that
geofencing.
means the data.
I'm assuming it does too. I don't think her Fitbit's actually in there. The data for Betsy Blair's Fitbit. The geofences, don't know which ones, just geofences in general. A neighborhood canvas from 2017, and then another neighborhood canvas from 2019. I'm assuming when they're hanging up the flyers, but I can only guess on that. But also in this is the filing cabinet scans. So they scanned electronic, digital.
These fucking filing cabinets, man. Nope, just wheel in the actual filing cabinets. I don't believe any of your scanned bullshit.
You're like, nah, just give me the fucking filing cabinets.
Give me the filing cabinets.
I'll do it
Kathy,
myself.
you heard me, Kathy. Shank.
So scanned electronic digital copies of the filing cabinet, paper documents, and any data in those files. The files were uploaded and current to this date, and any additional scans will be provided by eDiscovery.
So they better hope. Because, see, you have to realize that all these exhibits are now in evidence for the appellate court. So him saying that he provided all of the filing cabinet. I love how he fucking capitalizes filing and cabinet. What a douche. And then he gave it all right back to Kathy Shank because it's her property somehow.
She's like, Kathy Shank's filing cabinets.
I'm surprised there's not like a disclaimer like these are the property of Kathy Shank.
Right, exactly.
But so this says these files were uploaded and current to this date, which would be what? January 30th, 2024?
2024, correct.
Okay, so one would hope, or it could be further issues if there is anything that they don't have in their litany of discovery that has those dates on it. Like the entire month of January 2024.
Right.
Just throwing that out there. I'm also curious. This was January 30th, and it says geofences. I'll have to go back and look at the timeline and see when they filed motions talking about the geofence specifically.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Because I'm pretty sure they said, like, he just gave us this stuff.
Yeah, because some of the stuff they're getting this time that they didn't get the time before.
They did say that, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have the filings. Remember, this is all still on this one hard drive. Okay, so I just want everybody to understand that this is all of this different types of evidence and discovery is on this one hard drive so far. Holder, a 2016 ceremony, which is an actual video from the Facebook feed of an Odinist ceremony.
So are they acknowledging it's an are they acknowledging it's an Odinist ceremony? Can we assume that now?
Yeah, but it's okay that they're Odinists or
That's okay.
practicing
I'm just
Yeah,
because later this is going to come back around and he's going to say like they're not Odinists. So I just wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page that
well,
that's.
maybe they're not Odinists, but they just participate in Odinist ceremonies.
Oh, maybe, yeah, because they just want friends, maybe.
Yeah, well, that's because it has the best friends post.
I see. Yeah, you're probably right. Okay.
So interviews, we talked about this one a little bit yesterday. So the 3/14/17 Sandra Harrison interview and phone extraction by the FBI in San Diego, California. This file was too large for successful upload to eDiscovery.
And we all know who that is, right?
You explain it again.
I don't know. Isn't it Ron's ex-wife?
No, he doesn't have a
Ex-girlfriend?
Sandra. I think
Who
it's
is
an
she?
ex-girlfriend. I think it's an ex-girlfriend.
She's related to Ron. She's connected to Ron Logan, which makes that date makes sense. So I almost wonder if the whole clearing of Holder and them was because they were going for Ron at the time. That would make sense. The timing would make sense. Because at that point, 3/14, he was cleared, you know.
True. And they
So
really, this is when they were really on the Ron Logan bat. It really, from an outside perspective, it seems like they really were like, Ron Logan's our guy, throw everything we can at him and see if we
yeah.
can get him to break. And then it's like, okay, that doesn't work. Keegan Kline and Tony Kline, that's our guy. Throw everything we can at him and get that to work.
And they basically ignored everyone else to go for
Correct.
Ron. And I think they did the same exact thing for Rick. Once they
Correct.
caught sight of Rick, they just completely trashed everybody else.
I think they had little ones in the middle, like, at first they obviously had the Logan Maxwell and his dad, but that was like very short lived. Like they had these little mini ones that like, okay, well, we can't. There's no way we can use this, So it's like they're a wash. Like Chadwell and things like that, like those types of people.
Yeah.
So I think they had some minis, but I think they had like three main things that they were really doing. It was Ron Logan, Keegan Kline, Richard Allen. That was in 2019, I have Apophis, I believe. I'd have to go back and look, but I'm almost positive it was like 2 years later. I think it was 2019 when they were in the KK realm. She was technically being interviewed by the marshals, I believe, because of Keegan Kline, not because of Richard Allen.
Well, yeah, definitely, because they didn't know Richard Allen existed until 2022. So
I mean, like not even for her, just like I was at the bridge that day and this is what I saw. Not even for like that. I think she was
to get info on Kagan.
Right. Okay. Hold on, I'm filling up my vape. Sandra Harrison. That's not his wife, but I think it's one of his girlfriends. She's interviewed by the FBI in San Diego. Okay, so photographs. The crime scene, the autopsy, and other follow-up photos. Some photograph files were too large for successful eDiscovery upload, so some of these same photos may be contained in eDiscovery release. A 3D rendering of the crime scene. Commander. State police photos of crime scene, autopsy, and other investigative follow-up. German. Crime scene photographs. Now, I need to talk to you guys about this because I got to know what you guys are thinking when you read this before I tell you what I'm thinking when I read this. So you have a commander who takes state police photos of the crime scene, the autopsy, and There's other investigative follow-up. And then you have German crime scene photographs. What does that mean to you guys? What is that? What is that? I don't. Then you have ISP photos from 12/7/2022. State police photos of crime scene and other investigative follow-up by the CSI technician.
I guess I was assuming that it was Liberty, but there's not specific ones for Abby, but maybe they already had a bunch, like maybe I just assumed it was talking about Liberty specifically.
There's not one that says Williams crime scene photos?
But I think Libby, there was like more to take photos of. Because like Abby would have more pictures taken like once she got to the morgue because you couldn't really see. You know what I mean?
Okay, so let's go with, if we had to go with a pattern of how they're writing this. This says commander. This says ISP photos. This says this is what's in the item 101422. This is from the FBI trail cams. This is Jay Kramer's photos.
Is that the reporter?
Yeah.
Oh, for crying out loud.
No, wait. No, it's not. That's Keener.
Oh,
Sorry. I was saying
okay.
no, wrong name. Kramer. This is a FBI crime scene person. It looks like Jay Kramer photos. That's J. Kyle Keener. So I don't know. That's weird. FBI crime scene photographs taken by S.A. Julia Kramer. So Jay Kramer. So if you go with like the pattern of what this is a commander who took photos, right? This is ISP that took photos. These are photos that were taken of the water bottle. These are photos from the FBI trail cams. These are photos taken by Jay Kramer. There's nothing over on this side prior to the colon that says what the photos are of. What the photos are of is on the right side. Is there a special agent German? Is there an officer with the last name of German? Because to me, that sounds like this is the person who's taking these photos. This is the person who's turning over these photos. Whoever I read it like German is the producer of these photos. ISP produced these, the commander produced these, the trail cam produced these, Jay Kramer produced these. Does you guys see what I'm saying? Last name of who took the photos. That's how I see it. Am I right? I don't have any idea. But when I read it in a pattern, that's what it looks like to me. That somebody with the name German took those photos.
Yeah, but they would have a first initial.
Why?
Well, because there could be 30,000. No, that's a lie. There could be 30 people that work for the FBI whose last name is German. Or whoever, whatever agency. Is there?
It's just something to keep an eye on because it reads weird to me. It stands
Is
out.
there a Brad German? Because I thought I made that up in my head.
Brad German's grandpa. He's the grandpa.
Oh.
He's Derek and Sarah's dad.
I didn't say anything because I thought I made that name up in my head. Like it sounded good.
No, the Brad German's grandpa. He's the one who was there on his four-wheeler. He lives down off of he lives over by Anna, down not down that road, but off of, I think it's 200.
Okay.
200, and he lives down to the right. So he drove over there from his house on his four-wheeler, and then remember Kelsey says that as soon as I knew that they found my sister,
I went to my grandpa.
I took my grandpa home.
Yes. So that's who that is.
So is crime scene photographs, if we go with German, are we talking about the clothing in the creek? But we were told that either Erskine or L.O. McDonald took those. I think it was Erskine, but people have gone back and forth on who actually took those photos of the clothes in the creek. They're not a German. There's an undercover named Michael German for the FBI, worked white nationalist. Looks, oh, that's interesting. Low light, that's really interesting. I don't know. So some people are reading it like this must be the photos of Libby, but I don't know why you have photos of crime scene, autopsy, and everything else. Why do you not have Abby's here then?
Do you see the Twitter post that was just sent to us of
No,
Face's daughter,
no,
Shanks?
uh-uh.
I like want to read it because I'm
Read it.
just curious, but I don't want to distract us.
No, read it.
But I'm also not retaining it. So it says, this is a post by Kathy Shank's daughter on Twitter. It says, everyone says hindsight is 2020, and so it's easy to armchair quarterback, especially a murder investigation, but not me. I think some things about murder investigations are just common fucking sense. If you find 2 murder victims on day 1 and by day 2 you know you're looking for a grown-ass adult man, what you do is you scotch tape a fucking post-it note to every phone, computer screen, toilet, and bathroom sink in your entire police department that says, if any of you get any tips about a grown-ass adult man in the park that day, you give them directly to me, the lead investigator, because I need to talk to that guy personally. That's what you do. What you don't do is go, oh, gee, we're looking for a grown-ass adult man, but I'm too lazy to go interview this grown-ass adult man myself because I'm too busy getting donuts. See, that is what you don't do. And if you had gone to see this grown-ass adult man yourself on day 3, after he tipped himself in, he would have told you he was at the park looking at stocks on his phone. Then you put his statement on the wall along with all the other people who said they were there. And then on day 4, when you get the cell phone tower data of everyone who was at the park, you look at the list and you look at the stack of self-reported tips and you say, hey, wait just a damn minute. Something ain't adding up here. And you knock, knock, knock on this guy's door on day 5 and you say, excuse me, sir, why did you lie to us and say you were on your phone at the park that day, but there's no cell phone record of you being there? And then on day 6, you get a video of a car in the area, the same make and model of which matches the guy who already lied to you about having his phone turned on while he was there. And you realize that this car was at the park long after he lied to you and said he'd already left. And you knock, knock, knock on his door again on day 7, and you arrest him because lying to you twice is enough for a search warrant, which is super interesting to say considering she feels the exact opposite of Ron Logan. All this time, all this money wasted, all this frustration, all this bullshit, all because the fat, lazy lead investigator was too busy eating donuts to go interview just a handful of men who said they were at the park that day. Just a handful of men, and you were too busy to go talk to them yourself. Unbelievable. And then she comments under it and says, it's wild that you liked this, and then tagged someone. When I'm saying Richard Allen is 100% guilty and would have been caught earlier if Tobe Lesenby would have put down the donuts and just spoken to RA personally in 2017. Tobe Lesenby, day 1, quote, nothing bad could have happened to the girls. They're probably at the movies. Nom, nom, nom. Donuts, donuts, donuts. Not in my small town. Nom, nom, nom. Day 2, the girls' bodies are found. Tobe Lesenby, quote, okay, fine, but no one from Delphi would have done this. Nom, nom, nom. Donuts, donuts, donuts. Not in my small town. Nom, nom, nom. All non-Delphi leads are exhausted. Tobe Lesenby, quote, okay, fine, but no upstanding citizen with a real job from Delphi could have done this. Clearly meth heads. Nom, nom, nom. Donuts, donuts, donuts. Not in my small town. Nom, nom, nom. I'm just going to keep looking. Oh my God, is there more? Wait a minute, there's more.
Oh my gosh, okay. So Kathy Shank's daughter thinks that Richard Allen is guilty, and she thinks that her mom solved the crime because the law enforcement is too incompetent. And here she's saying that Tobe was too busy eating donuts. She is hilarious. That is funny. That Tobe Lesenby was too busy eating donuts, so he was not able to actually go and follow up with Richard Allen himself. So instead, he just lets that go. And so she calls him out on the fact, like, okay, you have this guy who comes and tells you he was at the trails that day on his phone looking at a stock ticker, and you don't bother to go interview him yourself. You have, you get the cell tower dump, and this guy who told you he was on his phone at the trails does not show up on there. Why do you not go and knock on his door and say, hey, why the hell did you lie and say you were there on your phone when your phone isn't even located there?
Ready?
And so she's saying she's saying he's too busy just sitting around eating donuts because he doesn't believe that anybody in his little town would commit this type of murder anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
But she also feels that them being lied to twice is enough for a search warrant, but is disgusted by what they did to Ron Logan, who lied to them.
But she's like honor bound to Logan. She's not honor bound to Tobe.
True. Well, here we go, because she keeps going at Tobe. It is precisely Tobe Lesenby. She says it is precisely Tobe Lesenby's complete unwillingness to admit that anything could ever happen in Delphi that derailed this case. Then, once he was proven wrong, he said no one from Delphi could have done it. Then, once all leads were exhausted, said, okay, maybe someone from Delphi did it, but it could only have been a meth head. That derailed this case. Tobe Lesenby's
When did he say it had to have been a meth head?
I do not know. I don't remember that part.
Okay.
Tobe Lesenby's rose-colored, not in my small town glasses derailed this case from the first hour, and I still can't believe he's never going to be held accountable. Now, keep in mind, I'm going to keep reading, but please keep in mind that this is coming from the daughter of the woman who miraculously and mysteriously found a tip in a box in a drawer on the day of her husband's birthday in 2022. Okay. Investigator Shank, who was clearing everybody and has secrets in her 5 filing cabinets. So she says, then she quote tweets her tweet and says, I could have solved the Delphi murders in 1 week for $1.99 plus tax, but nobody asked me, and here we are 8 years later. I don't care that you thought the girls were probably, quote, at the movies instead of at the park that day. I would have just followed the facts, in all caps. I don't care that you thought no one in Delphi could have committed these murders. I would have just followed the fucking facts. I don't care that you thought no upstanding citizen with a real job could have committed these murders. I would have just followed the motherfucking facts. I hope you enjoyed those donuts instead of just following the motherfucking facts. Then another one. I hope the donuts were worth it, asshole.
Jesus.
I think that's it for now.
He forgot to tell his wife he was on the bridge. People make a really big deal out of this. I don't know how that he was physically on the bridge.
I'm told that's not what he said.
Yeah, I've heard a couple different things now. So that's another one that I'm like, okay, we really do want to listen to what he does say.
Correct. I've heard that he said, or I've heard that she said, you didn't tell me you crossed the bridge, because they were telling her that he was on the south side.
Right. So I'd be interested to know what was actually said, because I don't trust their interpretation of shit.
But can we just take a minute before and then we can go back to what you were reading, but like, can we take a minute to just appreciate the fact that everything I just said is coming from the daughter of the woman who found the tip that law enforcement didn't know about.
The tip in the box.
The tip in the box in the drawer.
You do know the video that's making me laugh, right? Please tell me you know what. Okay.
What? You got a boo-boo. What the heck?
When I was playing with my toy, it gave me a slice on me.
Let me kiss it. You want a Band-Aid?
Yeah.
Can I kiss it, though?
It's like really red and bleeding.
It's not really bleeding. It just is very red. Go in that thing and get one of the fabric Band-Aids.
And when I bend it like forward, it hurts.
Oh, no. Well, get the bandage and we'll make it so you can't bend your finger.
Because it's definitely like the toy that like shed one of its...
Do you want me to go break the toy?
Did you just say?
Do you want me to break it?
No.
For hurting you?
Well, no.
We'll just get the bandage.
Just like punish it. Like wrap its mouth with papers.
Okay, just don't break it. Okay.
Wrap its
That'll
mouth up.
that'll do. Wrap its mouth up. Oh dear.
Why does the cuts have to be directly? Why does the cut have to be directly there?
Because it's the most annoying spot. That's why.
Well, when I bend my finger this way, it cuts
Yeah,
really
well,
bad.
here you won't
We
be
need
able.
it. Well,
Which one you want?
I want this one.
Okay. We got the expensive, too
Diamond band.
too expensive fabric bandages, but I must say
Then my finger is just gonna be like this forever.
they stay for like I've never seen them come off. We have to rip them off here when they get all nasty and dingy. You know what I'm talking about. This is a
Yeah.
little.
Did they
Oh
track down
shit!
the receipt for the beer purchase? No, of course not. Of course not.
Wait, you don't want
Detective
to teeth,
Vito
right?
tried to confuse the shit out of Kathy, and when she said you didn't tell me you were on the bridge, the context of the full interview is left out. I agree, Noe. I agree with you. I think that's what but they don't want us to actually see that kind of stuff. They want to keep that.
Ow.
They want to
All right,
keep that
I know.
until. So here's
I
just a
love you.
little side comment on this whole. We talked about that they don't want to release the exhibits from trial because they need to stay attached to the transcript. And the transcript's not done, and they're going to get lost if they start just sending them out all willy-nilly. But then you have Nick over here who's like, I'll just throw some exhibits on here and you guys can all see those.
Oh, I want to thank Serendipity for his birthday's actually not till the end of the month, but that's sweet that you remembered I was wrapping his birthday presents yesterday.
When's
We're
his
having his
birthday?
birthday this weekend because we're supposed to get buried in some more snow. So
When's his birthday?
26th.
Oh, you got a
But
little
we're
ways.
having it. Well, we're having it Saturday. But then, well, because my mom was supposed to remember her and her husband were supposed to go to Austria. Well, then he with all the sickness, but she's going to go by herself, and that's the last 2 weeks. So
Well, that'll be fun for her. Mr. Scott says, how did his wife not recognize him? So this is kind of a
easy.
double-edged sword, depending on what you think. Is that some people will tell you that she did recognize him, and that's why she, wanted him to go turn himself in, which doesn't make sense because that picture wasn't out when he. Or
Right?
did we determine that it was? I don't remember. Maybe we did. But the whole point
No.
would be that she does recognize him, tells him to go turn himself in, or go say, "Hey, I was at the bridge." And then he comes home and says, see, now nobody's talking to me anymore, so I must be fine and cleared. And so she ignores it and says, okay, well, they never even followed up with him, so they know it's not him, and I can move on with my life.
Yeah.
The other side of that double-edged sword is that she doesn't think it's him.
Right. Like, why couldn't we say the people who did recognize that person did call them in?
Right.
And when she told him to go in, she said they're asking for anybody that was at the trails to go talk to them that day. Anybody that was at the trails that day to go talk to them. And he did. Because I think
She
it's
didn't
no,
recognize it was a fake photo, so it doesn't even matter.
yeah, I don't think that it's like a secret anymore that like he does whatever his wife says. Like if she said, you were at the trails that day? And he was like, yeah. She'd be like, well, then you have to go talk to them. And like he would do it.
Yeah, he's like, okay, I'll go tell him.
And I'm
Okay,
sure that's something that she regrets I mean, I would.
well, so one of the investigator ladies, and I honestly don't remember if it was Erica or Christine on their interviews. I couldn't tell you which one said it, but they said that Kathy told him when she got home that night. She got home at about 5, and in the 5:30 news, they were showing the BG photo.
No.
And so she said, go and tell them, that you were there. And I'm like, what?
Now I
Oh
have to
no, they were
dig
showing.
out
No,
my.
no, no, no. I'm lying. Don't. Okay, erase what I just said. She said that they were showing that the girls were missing.
Yes.
That they were showing that the girls were missing, and I was like, that was not on the 5:30 news.
I don't know if it was 5:30, but
But that's what she said. It was on the 5:30 news, and so she told them, "Hey, call and let them know you were at the bridge. They're looking for anybody that was there." But that wasn't on the 5:30 news.
maybe she meant the 6:30 news because I thought she got home at like 5:30, 6 o'clock.
But that wasn't even on the news yet. We have all the news coverage, and it's not until nighttime.
Hmm.
Because remember, they don't even call the cops and have them come out until around 5:30.
Yeah, true.
So I thought that was kind of weird. Okay, so let's talk about this FBI trail cameras. So is this stating the FBI went and got the trail cameras, or are they saying that the FBI actually has trail cameras? Because I was
I
kind
don't
of
know. I have a
confused.
real problem with this.
Yeah, me
Even
too.
if, regardless of either way that you say it, I have a
Yep.
problem with either way. Nom nom nom. Donuts, donuts, donuts.
Donut.
Now
So
it's gonna be
the
stuck in my head.
trail camera photographs taken of the crime scene, or is this what they're talking about from that trail cam that was up to the side and didn't actually capture anything of the crime scene, but did capture one of the searchers who was a fireman?
But that's not of the crime scene,
Right.
though.
That's what I'm trying to figure out here.
So, but it also can't be trail camera of the crime scene because then it would have either captured the crime on picture or video or it didn't, and that's also a problem.
So what do you think they are? You think they're actually photos of the trail camera photos of the crime scene?
Um, trail camera photographs. Well, are we talking about, like, I feel like the term crime scene is often used like in various ways. So when you say crime scene, I think of like where, like, if we're going to say that they died right where they were found, then that's the crime scene to me, where the crime took place. But I guess if you wanted to be technical, you could say that the kidnapping was also a crime. So the south end of the bridge would also be a crime scene,
They did,
maybe.
and they had it taped off as part of the crime scene.
So they could be trail cameras from there.
There is a trail camera over there, but we were told it wasn't working, remember? Hey,
Well,
Susan.
maybe it wasn't, but they would still have gathered that and given it over. I think that's the most logical explanation because any of the other ones, I can't because they're bad.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know.
This is the photos of the water bottle from his interview. It says 10/14/22. I'm assuming it's the interview with Mullen and Liggett from 10/13/22. Photos of the water bottle, because remember they take into evidence. It's on the evidence log that they took a water bottle from Richard Allen, so they could get his DNA.
Yeah, it
But
didn't matter because it didn't do shit anyway.
right. Okay, so then the next thing that's also on this same hard drive is the police and the coroner's reports, Carroll County Sheriff, Indiana State Police, and the actual tip number 74. Don't get me started on that.
Oh, see this right here, this at the bottom. This is what I was referring to.
Some of the reports contained in this file are also uploaded to eDiscovery. Following the eDiscovery release, we discovered that some of the files in the Indiana State Police may be incomplete or not populated in eDiscovery. Therefore, all the files in Indiana State Police were copied to this drive. FBI reports are attached on a separate hard drive listed below, and then we're going to go through that one. But so they were uploading stuff to the eDiscovery, and then they just, instead of doing what was missing from eDiscovery, they just dumped everything onto the hard drive again.
Ooh, I see a thumb drive I want.
I didn't see any dates on that.
There's, I don't know if it's that specifically, but there is, if you pay attention to it gets wordy, and if you pay attention to it all, there is like additional information and stuff. Kind of like how you noticed that 10/14/22 was a date.
Yeah, but where does it have dates for these trail cam photos? Maybe it's down
Oh,
further and I haven't
I
got
don't
there yet.
know.
Okay. Okay, so this is now this is a different part. So this is the FBI crisis management reporting software Orion is listed below on a separate hard drive. This is the latest download of Orion as of 12/7/23. So I just want to be clear for everybody who has now come forward after we talked about the tip and said they no longer were using Orion, that here it is as of 2/7/23. And any additional information contained in Orion will be uploaded to eDiscovery as Orion threads are made available.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Why does Kathy Shank's filing cabinets contain shit from after 12/7 through 1:30? If Orion, the only Orion information that they have is through 12/7. Because either Kathy, like the dates should match,
Mm-hmm.
or Kathy should have stopped long time ago and Orion carried on. Why did Orion stop 12/7 and Kathy's filing cabinets continue?
Hmm. Well, I wish I could answer that question. I have no idea.
At least now I have it on the record.
She has more shit in her filing cabinets than is even in the Orion system. But I'm
Yeah,
just
that's
saying.
a big problem. That's a huge problem. Problem for me, anyway.
So Silence said that there were trail cams that were placed at the crime scene by LE.
I feel like I heard that.
That makes sense.
To see if somebody came back.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe that is what it is. Not necessarily.
Their own, that's why it says FBI trail cameras.
Yeah.
It doesn't
So like
have
not
any
necessarily
on the filings that we have so far that I can see. Just FYI.
So after the date of the crime, not necessarily probably even having anything on them, just after the crime. To see if someone came back. Especially if you thought or you had an inkling that someone took trophies. Like, I would imagine you would want to know, because maybe they did take trophies and they hid them somewhere close by to come back for later.
Make sure when we say the Kathys and the Brads that we say which last name so people know who the hell we're talking about.
You're right. We should. I should.
I should too. I'll do better. I'll try to be better. Okay, so like everything I know from February 13th, 14th, 15th is all hearsay because I don't have proof of what was said back then. Veronica has told us that the crime scene photos were being shown around that area at the time. Obviously, she doesn't have crime scene photos to be able to prove that was happening, but I absolutely believe her. I've had them go by thousands in cams post murders.
I believe that.
They were doing the whole safety of the bridge because they wanted to make sure that, because people weren't going out to the trails anymore.
Yeah. I think that's separate from this particular thing, but yeah, I've heard that also happened.
So all search warrants and court-related documents. Some files were too large for successful eDiscovery uploads. Some of the same files may be contained in recent eDiscovery releases. The thumb drive from Todd Click that they did not get in the first round, remember, because Todd Click actually gave it to him. So now in the second round, they're making sure that it's included. So files from the thumb drive that were received from Todd Click on 8/30/23.
Well, he did not receive that he didn't receive that then. He received that way before that. Unless it's additional.
No. Yes. No.
No,
Wait.
No.
No, he sent that like in May, the certified letter and everything else. And then I was thinking, well, maybe this is the thumb drive that he brought with him to the meeting
when he met with Holman, yeah, maybe.
I think that's September. April. It was like April, May. Yeah, you're right. But that was September, right? Because then he comes out and maybe it was 8/30. I don't know. That could be. 8/30 does not ring true to me in my memory bank, but I can't. I'd have to go actually prove myself right or wrong.
I'm
the only way
right
that
now.
Is what he brought to would have to be what he brought to meet with Holman when they said bring everything you got.
Look, guess what happened on 8/30/2023?
What?
Brad Holder is interviewed by Trooper David Vito and isn't asked for his phone, isn't asked about
Yep,
Elvis
it's that
Fields,
day then. That is. It's the same day then.
isn't asked a single question about the
Yep.
incriminating statements attributed to him by Amber Holder. He claims he has difficulty remembering which girl Logan dated, then remembers he supervised one date between Logan Holder and Abigail Williams.
Yep, that's the same day then. Because that's the day that Todd Click walks out and Brad Holman. Oh my gosh. Brad Holder is sitting in the waiting room ready to go up and be interviewed. Has anybody heard from TC lately? Who's TC? Hey, Free Karen Reed, did you figure out yet that the German photos is the photos the family took of the clothing? That doesn't make sense to me, Free Karen Reed, because it would either be Erskine or McDonald that took those photos. Unless German is the one who... No, it doesn't make sense to me. That's okay, All Eyes. I know I can count on you. Hey, Jer. Okay, so then we also have the Westville prison, which is the cell block videos, the body cam footage during contact with Alan. This is from the guards then, because it's from Westville, right?
It would have to be.
I guess I didn't realize that the guards were all wearing body cams.
If they were wearing body cams, why did they
What?
have to also carry a handheld?
I'm fucking thinking.
Huh. Oh, maybe it's the transport people, not the... Like, maybe it's the people that would take him to hearings.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because the sheriff was in charge of that. Sheriff says Erskine absolutely took the photos. I think it was Erskine. Some people will argue that McDonald took them, but I think it was Erskine. But either way, they were the two that found him, and Erskine's the one who sent them out to Gavin Fish. Well, third hand, he sent them to somebody else who sent them to Gavin Fish. Door sheets. Okay, that's all the stuff that they had outside of his room. Other Westville IDOC reports and documents. I don't know why body cam footage during contact with Alan would be listed under Westville prison though, if it would be part of the transport. When
Well,
the sheriff was actually in charge of the transport. I'm still confused on that.
Why was he labeled as a poll camera from Mears Farm Gate, April 10th, 2017 to April 21st, 2017?
Okay, hold on. Where'd you go? Oh, down here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then,
so this is interesting because the cameras over there, there was rumors about these cameras right off the bat, and I'm saying rumors very specifically. Remember that somebody was caught riding a bike. I don't know if you guys remember that. And that Derek German was caught on the cameras, and they say those cameras were from the Mears farm.
I would like to know specifically what trail camera footage they were going to get when they ended up not going and getting it because the girls were found.
That's up on the turn.
Are you sure? Because I
That's
don't
what they
remember
said.
him saying that. I just remember him
No,
saying he
they
was
don't.
told to go collect it.
I don't have my map up, but they say the area that it's in. Everybody always thought it was the other McCain brother, because Dave McCain was the one with the pictures, and then the other McCain brother, Dan.
Oh, I do remember that.
Rode his bike through the trails almost every day.
Yeah, I remember that.
Let me see if I can get the map to just start loading while I still do this, because the map time sometimes it'll take a while to come up.
But my question is, the dates, did they put the cameras in after?
The Mears had cameras.
So then where are the ones, like, I wonder where the ones are from February.
Don't know. Maybe they weren't working then. I don't know.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I want somebody, if somebody knows exactly where that trail cam was, I would be very curious because I wanted to put it on my map and I haven't had a chance to actually go back and listen to that testimony about the trail cam. The one that caught the fireman, the searcher. I wanted to put it on the map and I have to go back. But I'm almost
I don't think
positive
he
they said
specified.
it's up here. It's up here at Robinson's. Or was it the one that was at Mears? It's up here on this angle. It's up here at this turnabout.
Was it Giancola?
What?
Which one was supposed to go get him? Was it Giancola?
Oh shit, I don't remember. I think that sounds right.
I'm looking at it now.
I mean, I can pull up the testimony notes too. So.
Or Datsman?
No, he was. Right. No, it's the. Giancola sounds right. It was Giancola. It was Giancola. That's who it was because he's the one of the first ones at the scene with Yoder. It's Giancola, absolutely. And he gets called and he comes walking down here, goes do and walks down to the clothing because he gets notified that they found something in the creek when he was on his way over here to go collect this. So I know it was at this turnabout. So this is a Mears property over here. And then there's the Robinsons over here. And they say that the trail cam was in this vicinity.
No. So he says.
Different trail cam. Different camera. So I should say that. Because I'm talking two different trail cams. The other trail cam was the one that was facing somewhere towards the crime scene. I think it's in this area, but I'm not 100%.
Okay, because this here, all he says is, when he arrives at the sheriff's office at approximately 7:30 a.m., he was tasked with contacting the landowners in the area to get permission to be on their properties and continue the search onto private properties. He was heading to a different part of 300 North because he had heard that somebody had a whole bunch of trail cameras on their property. He intended to go pull the footage, but on the way there, he received a call from Sheriff Liggett, who told him to go to the cemetery. Well, he wasn't sheriff then, but... So he never did go collect it.
Yeah, but I know they said it was over here. Now, who said it was over here, I don't know.
So couldn't it have been Ron Logan's? Or a different part of 300 North? Where all is 300 North?
This is 300 North right here. So the Mears are here.
Yeah, but does it end there?
No, it curves and goes down here.
Oh, okay. So I mean...
No, but I know they said it was up here at the bend. I specifically remember that. But I don't know why I remember that. Because I was like, I remember talking about it on my live the night we were going over that testimony. And we were talking about that it was up here and it would have to be either Robinson's or Mears. I don't, you can take it or leave it because I cannot tell you why I think that. I almost feel like they gave us the cross street. Am I the only one that remembers that? 575 West and 300 North. I'm almost positive they gave us the cross street. German photos were from Grandpa. We live 10 minutes from there, and yes, he was there when they were found. Deanna, that's interesting. I thought, because Kelsey says that as soon as they knew they were found, she took her grandpa home. It would have to be Grandpa German because the name it says German on it. Oh, night, Noe. Thanks for stopping by. But what do you think, All Eyes? I think Raffi might know exactly where all the cameras are. Possibly. The creek that was searched the day before, in fact, the area where the girls were found was also checked before they called off the search. They did, Radar. They said 300 and 575 intersection. Peggy says, yeah. Okay. I'm not fucking crazy. Thank God. Yeah, so we know it's at that corner. I don't know why.
Can't you drop down? Can't you drop down onto the street and see?
This is 575 right here. and 300.
I know, but I'm saying, can you drop down onto the street so you can see if there's a camera
Oh, I
there?
don't know if they actually have anything. I'd have to go to Google, the regular Google, to do that, I think. Let me see if I can go street view and see. I mean, it's too blurry at this
Yeah, you'd have
angle.
to go street view.
Okay, hold on. He was heading to collect trail cams from someone on 300 when he was called off. I emailed you the other thing real quick, though. Okay, thank you. And shit. Low light sending me on rabbit holes over here. I'll have to look at that. It hasn't come through yet, all eyes. Okay. Where the street comes to the T. I have a pop that says, seems like the cell phone tower would have a security camera on it. You'd think so.
Deleted.
It's gone. It's deleted.
Mullened.
The guy, yeah, if Mullen got a hold of it. I said, I don't know if it's going to let me. Yeah. They don't really have anything good out here. No. Yeah. I'd have to go to the other one to see if they even possibly have it. But they don't have a good street view on this one. But this is where it would have to be. Is on their property or their, and the mirrors, we know that they have cameras, but I don't know if that's the cameras they're talking about. Or because this is all the mirrors property over here and over here. They have, and they own all this. And they actually own some stuff on this side. Which is why that's the mirrors parking lot or Sherry Lane, depending on who you ask. Okay. So Brad German was, somebody said, was Brad German was there. So according to Kelsey in her interview, and I don't remember what she said on the stand, but I remember the interview much better. They were over here on the private drive, right? Or this area by the police vehicle. Somebody yelled from over here that they had found a shoe. So a lot of people think that because she said she was on the private drive, that she said the shoe was found on the private drive. But she was over here with her grandpa, and she said as soon as she knew that they had found her shoe, because she knew that that was the shoes her sister was wearing, and then when they went over here, and then immediately after, like what was, I think it's like an hour later, they come over here and they find them. She says she took her grandpa home. She didn't stick around. She took him home, and he lives, so he just couldn't drive his four-wheeler. So let me back out. He lives over here on 200. I think he actually lives like right here somewhere. One of these. I don't remember which one, but it's one of these. What'd you send me? Okay, so let's go back. I think that kind of puts things in some perspective. Okay, so this is the pull camera at the Mears Farm gate. This is the gate, though. That must be cameras they put in later. I'm wondering if that has to do with the law enforcement putting in cameras later. Okay, so now on one Western, other hard drive, blah, 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 labeled as a compilation of data. I would say that they're all a compilation of data, but that's just me. The files on this hard drive contain a Delphi flip phone found under the bridge on 2/26 of 2017. Delphi flip phone found under the bridge. That's interesting. And then on 3/11 of 2017, Delphi LG found phone in Clinton County. Delphi LG found phone, Clinton County.
Now I know what an LG phone is. But
Is it all the same thing? No, let me see. Hold on.
there's no such thing as an LG found. Like, that's not a phone.
No. And then this Delphi LG found phone Clinton Axiom report. Yeah, I'm wondering if like that's all the same thing. If this all belongs to this phone is found, it's then sent. It's labeled Delphi LG found phone. It's sent to Clinton County for the Axiom Celebrite on 2/22/17. HTC white chip off report. What's a white chip off report?
I don't know, but the name that follows that is someone that works at Subaru.
Okay, so Silence says it means a phone that was found and the owner is unknown.
So
But
why
is
would a
it?
random found phone in Clinton County be relevant to Delphi unless it had Delphi stuff on it?
See, it seems like to me like that's that goes together, and that's like when it goes and gets sent for the Axiom in Clinton County. No.
I don't know, because then the next date is 2/22/17, and it's this chip off report of a person, an actual person that exists. So
Okay, let me see patterns here. How this is put in here. Okay, no, they don't. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out like, so are they separate everything by the comma? If they separate everything by the comma, then that's one thing. This is
yes.
another thing, and then this is another thing that's on here on the report. So this is like, this is item number 1 on the report, item number 2 on the report, on the hard drive. Item number 3 is an Axiom Celebrite that is an HTC white chip off report. Chip off is digital forensics of this
From
person, this Alec Beep out.
works at Subaru,
Works at
and
Subaru.
then
Of course he does. They
and
either
then
work
in,
at Indian Packers or Subaru. Or what was the other one? No, not Chevy. What's the other one? Is it Chevy? Shit. Kim's like, I live in Clinton County. Then you tell us what this means. It sounds like a burner. People were trying. Hold on, where'd that go? People were turning stuff in from all over. Yeah, LG's a brand from back in the day. Clinton County is south of Carroll County. Did this person work at Subaru at the time of the murders? Because they don't look very old. I don't know. They don't look very old. So I'm wondering. I don't know how to. I really don't know how to read this, and I don't want to misinterpret it either because it doesn't. It doesn't really clarify. So is this Axiom Celebrite? Is this Axiom Celebrite report is from this Alec Beep out? That all goes together as one. Then you have an Amazon tablet with a pink case from Sandra Nelson Woods. That name sounds really fucking familiar, but that's weird spelling. Rod Logan had a
if
flip
it
phone.
was if you're born in 1993, how old were you in 2017?
You're born in 93, 7/25. Is that
Okay, that
right?
would have been his age at that time then.
Did I do my math wrong? 18. Yeah, 24. Yeah, 24, 25. Yeah, 24.
24.
Yeah.
So,
he just looks young then. Maybe that's an old profile. Okay, so this.
or maybe it's one of those. Well, never mind. I'm not. I'm not. I can't. I'm not gonna go there. I'll go there in private, but not right here.
Okay. This name sounds really familiar. There's an Amazon tablet with a pink case, Sandra Nelson. I don't know why that name sounds familiar to me, but it does.
Spell it to me.
Candra Nelson.
Okay. Someone named that name. Oh, interesting. So that name in Greentown, Indiana. I don't know how far that is, but they died in 2024. She was 61.
Chrysler. That's what it was. No, it was Chrysler.
Oh, that is what it is.
Yeah, I wanted to say Chevy, but I'm like, it's not Chevy. It's Chrysler.
It looks like
Okay.
it looks like she was a special ed teacher for Marion County schools.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah, I don't see any like younger people at the moment. But keep in mind that um that could have just been like her. It could have been her property, but not
Oh,
necessarily
okay.
who was using it.
Okay, so Amazon tablet.
Mm-mm.
Lowlight's saying he doesn't think they go together because there's the comma. So Amazon tablet, and then there's just a random ass pink case. Amazon tablet, and then a pink case. That's kind of weird.
Well, how would they know
How would they
that the
know who the
pink
pink
case
case
belonged to
was?
her?
Right? I don't know. I have no idea. It's really hard to try to understand what they mean when they're putting in here. So, German Liberty Samsung
Mm.
Galaxy tablet. We knew that they got that one. That's the one that they one of the officers, maybe it was Giancola too. One of them was trying to get into it back at the station.
So she had that and an iPad.
I don't think she had. Did she have an iPad?
She had an iPad that was linked to her iCloud account, and it was
Oh yeah,
connected
she
to
did.
Find My iPhone.
She did. You're right.
Hmm.
She also had a Samsung Galaxy tablet, apparently.
Hmm.
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck does this even mean? Okay,
Delphi
so
flip phone. I'm just saying, Ron Logan also had a flip phone.
he did have a flip phone. Wait, hold on. Sandra Nelson lives at 975 West Delphi. Hold on. Let me see something real quick.
So it's the same person. We're talking about the same person. She did die in 2024.
I don't um I don't know because you said she didn't live in, she's saying she lived in Delphi.
I'm. I'll send you the.
That's way up here. Why does that sound so familiar to me? Abby had a tablet with a pink case. It's in a pic that was in a special. If Abby had her own tablet, then why did they say that she had to borrow Libby's tablet when she wanted to do stuff?
Hmm.
That name is familiar to me. I'll have to dig through screenshots and try to figure out why it's familiar to me. I don't know. It doesn't mean anything to me right now, but it absolutely rings a bell. Okay, so now we have the Samsung tablet. Hemig. That seems like probably something I should know, and I don't know what the hell that is. What's this Hemig? Is this a person?
HEMIG.
Yeah, is that a person? Who is that? What is that?
Sounds like a disease. Oh my god, it is a disease.
What?
Well, I mean, it's other things too, but it is a disease.
What the fudge?
I'm gonna type in Galaxy Tab Hemig.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying, but like they have the comma there, so I don't know. Then you have holder screenshots, but then you also just have holder. So holder screenshots, and then, I mean, they didn't just put holder in there. So what the
Oh,
fuck is that?
I thought Nick like went above and beyond to like organize discovery and make it all very clearly laid out for the defense. This looks like a clusterfuck.
Right.
I don't even know how you would compare this. Like how you would sit there and be like, okay, do we have this? Like you'd be like, Hemig, what the fuck is that? Where do I
What the
find
fuck
it
is
here?
that? Well, and also remember, there's a video that's somewhere in this discovery that they received. The Hemigs are a family in Delphi. There's a somewhere in this they received a video of cops busting in on a room that ended up having a dead guy in the bed.
Oh yeah.
3782.
Yeah, I guess I could just tell it to because she's dead, so I'd put it in the private chat, but
I guess I did. I thought that I had put it in here, but I didn't. I just put the street.
Oh, that's annoying.
It's over here.
What's that town to the right? Is it Delphi?
Yeah, that's Delphi.
So she
This is
lives.
this is Delphi. It's just taking a second for it to all want to
Wait,
load.
yeah. When you do, I wonder what that yellow. What is that yellow pin
Which one?
to the left of the address?
That's what I have. That's the vet. That's her. That's Kathy Allen's work.
Oh, so maybe she was like maybe she was like the boss of Kathy, or maybe she was a friend
Oh,
of
yeah, so she's a
Kathy.
special ed teacher.
Well, it says she was a special ed teacher.
Wait, the dead guy is Blaine Nelson?
Wait a second. Wait a second. She survived by her husband, Brian Nelson.
Is she predeceased by a son named Blaine Nelson?
Children Jamie, Bentley, Jennifer, Brianna. No.
Okay, well, her
Oh,
name is
she is
Nelson.
preceded and she's a preceded in death by her parents, which would be Richard and Sandra. Michael was, I guess, her maiden name, but Guge was their married name. And her brother Mark, Guge. No, I don't see any Blaine. Just Brian was her husband. And he's alive.
Okay, no, the Nelsons in Delphi are different than the Greentown ones. It was Blaine Nelson that was on the bed.
The
Blaine had a heart attack. So he's not related to her, though. Am I understanding that correctly?
No,
Yeah,
it doesn't
she's
look like
Sandra
it.
Nelson Woods. I thought the person said they said it was an OD, but I don't know. I think it's two different ones, but not this. I think it's two different, but not the same. Hold on, sending to you another screenshot. Okay.
There's
No,
only one. There's only one in Indiana.
Sandra Nelson Woods. And then Blaine Nelson happens to be the person on there, was not on a bed when his son found him on the floor, followed by his mother. He was found, CPR started by FAM, and Ellie, then the EMTs from OD on floor, not bed. Okay. How is the Sandra person related to this case at all?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe she knew she was near the vet. Maybe she knew Kathy. Like, oh wait, was there a date on when they took her stuff? Or no? No, see, there's no date. So it could have been after he was arrested and they were just trying to get like messages with her, with Kathy.
She says she thinks Sandra is still alive, according to what was said. We have an obituary for Sandra. Her husband's name is what?
Brian. The one from the obituary?
Mm-hmm. And what do you
Brian.
guys say her husband's name is? Somebody else said it in here already. I don't know. We'll have to dig further into it. It was a clusterfuck. Well, I'll have to dig further. And like I said, I know her name, so it means something to me anyway. So I'll have to try to figure it out because I'm not going to be able to let it go without doing it. I don't know what the fuck this Hemig is. Did anybody answer that one? Darren. They said her husband's name is Darren.
Someone said that.
Can you pronounce it Candra? Just because it's spelled, I mean, not what do you mean? It's not Sandra. Like C's can still sound like S's. Can't be Candra. Really? I mean, I guess it was. Candra from Delphi is married to Darren, so the obituary is not the right one.
So they both happen to be the same age? Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me. With the same middle initial, that's insane.
That's what, the Hemig is a family name, but I don't know what that has to do with what would be in Discovery for the Hemigs.
Someone did say that.
Yeah. And then Holder screenshots, and then Holder. That still doesn't make any sense on what that is. A Samsung SGH. There's just a bunch of people's names. Jackson Stewardson, Stewardson.
Wait, you said a Samsung what?
SGH.
Okay, that's a thing.
Yeah, but then there's just a bunch of names. Jackson, Stewardson, Kocher, and then so I don't know what all the names just mean. There's a bunch of just last names. Like, okay, we just have a bunch of last names. What does it have to do with? Is it statements? Is it? I don't know what it is. So is it relevant? Not relevant? I have no fucking idea.
Oh.
You found my
I don't know,
opinion?
because then if you look at, then it says Liberty iPhone exam, J Maxwell, L Maxwell.
It's got to be just statements from these people. That's all I can think of.
Maybe. This is gross. What even is this?
Fucking unorganization. That's what this says. Because then you got, and you got Pearson, which we know that one, so that's Daniel Pearson. Then we have a SIM card. We don't know whose, from 2/14 of 2017. And Voorhees, which is Rayleigh, Wallace, Wilbur, Wright, Young. Wait, Voorhees, Wallace, Wilbur, Wright, Young.
Well,
I'm going to have to look into that too. Delphi Murders, 2/14/17.
I mean, there's obviously names we recognize here.
Well, yeah.
But it says, does it say Young Delphi Murders? Like, Young Delphi Murders? All one, like, the lines are blurring together for me.
Yeah.
There's no comma, right?
No, there's no comma.
Young Delphi Murders, 2/14/17, Logan Holder. FTK Imager.
Is that the fucking Young Guy sketch?
Oh my God.
What is that?
I don't know. FTK Imager is a forensic data imaging and previewing solution. It makes forensic images. What is Griffi?
Probably another fucking last name.
Magnet Griffi. The Magnet Griffi platform is designed to interconnect investigators, streamline information, and enable investigators to build on each other's case information.
But then you have magnets down here.
Oh, it says the Griffi Analyze platform is used by over 1,000 police agencies across the world for processing, sorting, and analyzing large volumes of images and videos, especially in cases containing child, abuse material.
I thought so too, Shibby, but then it didn't really work. Okay, here's your Candra. Like apparently
Persons of interest. Persons of interest is next.
Okay. Well, there's your Candra, your two different ones. That would be Logan, Maxwell, and Dad. Will you comment under one of my comments the names of the family you said took the pic? Sorry. Oh, free Karen. It's Erskine, David Erskine, or Ello McDonald. Those are the two that were, and that's Ello McDonald is Anna's brother-in-law. It was Anna's sister's boyfriend at the time, but they are married now, so do what you want with that. Okay, so
Oh, this is reckless. Nick is reckless. If the defense filed something like this, he would be absolutely having a conniption.
Bob Shoot? Who the fuck is Bob Shoot? Brad Holder, Eugene McKinney, that name sounds familiar too. Glenn Cunningham, Kevin Stewardson, Larry Wayne Ray. Oh, fucking Mike Nipple. Not Mike Nipple.
Mike Nipple.
Not Mike Nipple.
Oh God, Eugene McKinney, 81, passed away in once again Greenwood, Indiana. Is this like a? It almost is this. Is this some kind of like secret something?
Hold
Like,
on.
ow,
How is
my
that was one of the girls' profiles? Which one was one of the girls' profiles? Which one?
ow, Mike Nipple.
Mike Nipple. Mike Nipple. Well, that can't be real. Silence. Which one was one of the girls' profiles? Well, I heard the Young Guy sketch was based on Logan Maxwell.
Steve Areola.
They're all going to get deleted. Oh, Bob Shoot.
Oh yeah.
It was?
Um.
That was one of the girls' profiles? Libby's and Abby's? Cosmo, yeah, absolutely. Talking about nipples. That's Dick Trickle's cousin, in case you didn't know. Mike Nipple was class of 1985 in Delphi.
Shut the fuck
Chris
up.
Nipple was on the Delphi Board of Trustees.
Oh my God, shut the fuck up. Mike, if he's a real person and he's here, I'm so sorry, but it's so funny. I'm so sorry.
There's a lot on Reddit about Bob Shoot. There is? I've never even fucking heard that. I've never even heard that. There's no way you can just walk around with your last name being Nipple. Like, that fucking sucks.
Would Eugene go by Gene in Delphi?
Nipple is friends with Mike Patty.
Oh my God, you are not serious.
Patty Nipples. I can see it. That's what she said. Okay. I'm like, so I got totally okay. So Patrick Westfall. Then we're gonna stop there and we're going to a tower dump. Then we go to the Verizon tower dump, and then we talk about the victims and the Verizon tower certification.
Oh no. They're telling the truth, Teresa.
About
Oh my God, there's more of them. They're telling the truth. There's many nipples in Delphi.
your Delphi nipples.
Oh
Oh my God, there's a whole bunch of Delphi nipples. There's a pair of nipples in Delphi.
Oh.
Who's
Now
the
I'm down the
customer named Hussy?
nipple rabbit hole now.
If their last name was Nipple, they'd be a Hussy Nipple. The whole, instead of the Kokomo crew, it's gonna be like the Nipple crew. The nipples are big in Delphi, Judge Jessica. Yes, they are. They are. So bad. You asked me something about McKinney. I don't remember what you said, but I know you asked me something about him.
I am sending you stuff in the
Okay,
thing.
Gene McKinney. Yeah, that's Gene. Oh, I'm not logged in on that here, so I can't pull that up.
I typed in Mike Nipple Delphi.
Send it to me, Chelsea.
And an article of Mike Patty popped up.
You typed in what?
Mike Nipple Delphi.
And Mike Patty
showed up, popped up.
No fucking way.
Oh God, here's the other one. Wait, see, now I don't know. Okay, so here, tree, hairy nipple. Here's
Like, wipe his eye on nipple. Oh my God. I'll be right back. I gotta pee.
oh. You gotta wait. You gotta see what I sent you. An engagement announcement from 2015. Okay, I think that's who we're talking about. Okay, I'm crying. I'm gonna wake up the whole family. I wonder if any of these people of interest are 5'4". I bet they're not. But I think I found Mike Nipple via um engagement announcement. And to be honest, I hope she didn't hyphenate her name if they did get married. I really hope. Pierce D. Nipple Jr. Teresa, we know you're here. You're clicking around. Nom nom nom. Nom nom nom. Nipple nipple nipple. First person to find it gets my admiration. Really, nothing else. But just type in nipple Delphi engagement and tell me what the title of the article is.
Dick nipple? Parasite nipple.
Teresa, click the last link that I sent.
Okay, hold on.
I think that's 100% who it is, but I don't know for sure. But I also think that's definitely. Look at the title.
Nipple beach. Aww.
You're so mean. You're mean.
Who?
I think this is who we're talking about though, because I mean this will be an appropriate age. He kind of could. I mean,
Mike Nipple. He should take her name.
Julie Nipple.
Num 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 num.
Nom nom nom. Nipple nipple nipple. Donut donut donut.
Donut nipple nipple nipple. Num 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 num. It's so dumb. Yeah, you know we've been on here for too long, and this is what happens. Oh shit. Okay, so we got the Verizon Tower dumps victims. We just put victims in here. We don't have any idea what the fuck that means. Verizon Tower certification, and there's an addendum. The original drive was found to contain CSEM, child sexually explicit material, in the Kunskek? Oh God, warrant folder.
That might be somebody's last name too.
These
Oh
files
wait,
are
I have to tell you something funny. So my kid got home from school. He's still learning how to read, obviously. So he gets home from school, and my mom's like, "Just pick out any book, and I want you to read a little bit." So she's reading, and all of a sudden, I hear like a breathlessness from my mom, and the next thing you know, my kid said, he's doing really great," and he's like reading. Next thing you know, the word "cunt" comes out of his mouth,
oh shit.
and starts laughing. I said, "What?" And he said, "What?" And he's like trying to sound it out. It was count, but he doesn't know like OU, like he doesn't know how to say that. So he just picked up cunt. And my mother, I thought she was gonna die. If she didn't pee herself, I'd be shocked. But she's like, I knew he was gonna say, and he's like looking at her like, why the fuck are you laughing? And I was like, we're not laughing at you. Like we're laughing at the word, you know what I mean?
It's not your fault. Okay, so this client extractions contained on this drive were withheld because they contain the CCM, the 80 110. Original hard drive is available for full inspection under supervision at our office upon request.
Yeah, for all
Okay.
Keegan stuff.
Okay, so then this one is containing security camera footage and photos from the Hoosier Harvester footage from the residence from 5998 West 252 North. Serious, right there. That's the Brad Weber one. That's the Brad Weber.
Is it?
Yeah, that's that one. That's
Okay.
that's Sandifer's house. But
And
he's like,
David McCain's photos from the trail.
I really would like to see those. I would really like to see Dave McCain's photos. They'd probably let me down, but they'd be very interesting to look at. Okay, so this is cell phone extractions from Baker, Barger, Circle, Collins, Davis, Eads, Erskine, German.
Oh, are these all the
Brown, Hart, Henderson, Hicks, Isley, Colt, Matthews, Marchand.
Samsung? See, he don't make no sense. Are you going to tell me somebody's last name is Samsung?
No, because it's got the GSM right here.
Okay, but then why is there multiple name? Like, does that mean it's unknown?
I don't know.
They're
Slate,
a little weird.
Robbins, Toomey, Wallace, White, and Wright.
Yeah, whatever, Nick.
And here's cell phone extractions from DeMoss, Dillon, Miles, Derek German, Humphrey, Sandifer, Snowberger, and Weber.
Okay. DeMoss.
DeMoss. DeNipple. Cell phone extractions from Apple iPhone F5S. I don't know where the fuck I got an F from, but it is what it is.
5S?
Yeah. An unknown Apple iPhone 5S.
What?
Yeah.
Where are they finding all these phones? Like these unknown phones?
Here's another chip off. HTC chip off. There's an Amazon tablet. Liberty German's Samsung SGH. Hemig. Logan Holder. Jackson. Stewardson. Kosher. Liberty iPhone exam. Mab. James Maxwell. Logan Maxwell. McKinney. Pearson. A SIM card. Voorhees. Wallace. It's supposed to be Wilbur. Williams. Wright. Young. And then the FTK imager. I don't understand this. Hicks and Maxwell. Delphi Miscellaneous. Liberty German. OS Triage. Pictures of evidence and trail cam. There's forensics from A. Wright, Penn Jones, Bailey Doolin. Ooh, Bailey Doolin. B. Weber, Henderson, Anderson, Erskine, Dillon, Hall, Derek German, Collins, Isley DeMoss, Johns, Lucas, DeFries, Humphrey, Burkhart, Germond, Patterson, Kosher, Hart, Moffitt, Snowberger, Hemig, Abbott, Circle. Some of these names I don't know. So it's interesting, like what they were looking for on their phones. Davis, White, Hicks, Geary, Marchand, Wallace, T. Wright, and Weber trail cam. See? The Weber fucking trail cam. That supposedly wasn't there. That was put up later. Is there fighting going on? Is there fighting going on in chat?
People are telling us to stop after this. Maybe they're sleepy. Maybe they don't want us to have a 7-hour live because then people won't watch it all.
Well, I'm just going to finish this report and we're done. Because then the next one we're going to have to figure. I'm going to have to go through and figure out why I know these people's names and what I know them from. Because now I am tired from streaming the trial today and now doing this. And then
you did so good all by yourself today.
That was so awesome. It was easy too.
Yeah, I was like sitting there. I had my computer pulled up, and then it was like oh, you need to do an update. And I'm like, okay, sure. Like, let's do that real quick. Well, real quick ended up, it kept turning off and on, off and on, off and on. It's been that long. Huh?
Oh, okay. Oh, not stop, stop, pause, stop. Okay. Okay. Okay, stop after this one. So Weber Trail Cam, what you got? What I know a lot. I mean, most of these names I know. I just have to put them in perspective of why they're important or where they came from. That could be just Anna's. That could be Anna Williams' phone.
So
Ron
all
Williams'
these people
girlfriend.
gave up their phones for extractions, like, except for Kelsey?
Yeah, nobody bothered to get Kelsey's.
That's weird.
They got Derek's, but not Kelsey's.
Weird.
They said that they did extract Kelsey's phone. They admitted it. They didn't act like it would be a big deal.
I mean, why were all these people's relevant and not the person who last saw them alive and dropped them off?
You
That
think
doesn't
that
make
the
any sense.
two of the most important, or I would say three, if you find her phone, you have Kelsey, that gives you the last time that she was with her, right, and everything that's happening, and then Derek, who's supposed to be picking her up and when he's calling her and she's not answering, and then obviously hers. If you want to
Yeah.
create a solid timeline, wouldn't you want that? This is also why it was a fucking clusterfuck. Everybody said that she was dropped off at 1:30 in the afternoon. It was 1:30.
If they would have just gotten Kelsey's phone data, she wouldn't have had to remember, like, any of that stuff. Yeah, they really didn't. It's bizarre. Except they interviewed her like a bunch of times, but apparently for no reason.
I didn't know
I
that
don't
was
know.
true. But she says the FBI interviewed her a whole bunch.
Oh, true.
Gotta go search for cryptids. Okay. Thank you for being here, Lowlight. I'll check your emails. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of people on here. Like, we know the Maxwells. We know Doolin's. Bailey Doolin is interesting. I wonder if she's friends with the girls. Some of these are friends from school. We know the Abbotts. That when I told you that Carl Abbott and his daughter were supposedly there. Marshan, that's spelled wrong, so I don't know if it's the same ones, but that's Becky's family, and her sister was one of the ones that was with Pat Brown and found the girls.
Where's
I mean,
Carball? Where's Carball in all this? Because she was caught on the geofence, remember?
yeah, she's on the geofence. Now we don't have her phone extraction.
Hmm.
Wait, we might, because remember it was under her mom's name. Maybe her mom's not a Carball.
Hmm.
Now, what the fuck is this an actual list? I don't even know.
This is embarrassing. Like, it's no wonder they
had to make
had to
their own.
rely on Kathy Shank and her tip in a box and desk and a drawer.
So more phone extractions. These are 2017 phone extractions from Baller, Dunham. That's interesting. Dunham, Gunther, Heater, Isom, Jester, Myers, Sabella, and 3 unknown devices. What the fuck? They just have so many unknown devices. But somebody in chat said that people were just turning it if it was like anything that they found anywhere. Well, who does? That's a great question. I mean, not to sidetrack the chat, but it's interesting because of the fact that people were coming out afterward talking about how many threats they've gotten and so on and so forth, but somebody else made threats to Rick and to the defense attorneys. So okay. So then we have labeled as security cam video containing the security video collected from businesses and residences. Just random ones. Doesn't matter which ones they are. But you did notice up here they said that one of them actually has the videos. Here, the security camera footage and the photos from the Hoosier Harvest Store footage. Remember, they were like all freaked out because of the fact they couldn't even. They didn't have the video, and they were only like fucking Mullen was only taking pictures. 3 were mentioned in the 3 and 4 Frank docs. And that's why some of them might just be familiar because of that. Okay, where did I go? Weber Trail Cam. We did this one. Containing video of businesses and residences. Okay. This one is, oh, now here more. Containing security video of the Hoosier Harvest Store, the library. That would be Betsy Blair. Mitchell Mexican Grill.
Shell, Sunoco.
Pizza King, Save a Lot, Shell, Sunoco, Transfer Station, True Value, and Walmart.
I'm going to have to put those like on a, I'm going to have to mark all those to see what like zone they were,
Well, so
area
the
they were in.
Walmart thing is interesting because the Walmart rumor of a video has been going around for a long time.
Well, I'm assuming it's outside camera. Like, I'm assuming this is security footage outside to try to see cars from all these
Yeah, but
places.
there's no Walmart in Delphi. And the transfer station is, we know that's
Where Ron went.
Was.
Where
Save
Ron
a
went.
Lot,
Pizza
the
King,
grocery
where Ron
store.
went.
Yeah. The library where Betsy Blair was.
Wait, is Mitchell, what was the name of the restaurant or whatever that,
Mitchell's Mexican Grill. You talking about the
is
other
that,
one?
what is the one that Andy Baldwin said that he got tacos for Rick at?
I don't know if it was that one, but the one that is located, let me see. It's right in here.
It was like a really not Mexican name, but it had authentic Mexican food. I remember him saying. I don't know why I feel like it was Mitchell.
Load, but no. So Rick Allen's neighbors own the Mexican joint that's right in town, and I feel like that's where he got them from. No, it doesn't want to pop up. Nothing wants to load. It's struggling. I don't know. It's struggling to load, but there's a little Mexican restaurant that's over by the Farm Bureau building. Yeah, Mitchell's Mexican Grill. That's what it is. Yeah, that's the neighbors.
What the fuck did I do?
I don't know. What the hell?
I don't know. Get rid of the other one of me, I guess.
I don't think that doesn't sound right though. That doesn't sound like the right place. I don't know why. That doesn't sound like theirs. I don't know. It's been a while since I looked at that.
Wait, can you even hear me?
I can hear you. Can you not hear me?
I can hear you. What?
There you are. It's just you now. Well, hi, Hossein.
Weird. Hey,
I
Hossein.
feel like that's not the right one, but I can't do this stupid network work right. So, but there is the one that's the one that his neighbors own the Mexican restaurant in town. It is. That is right next to the courthouse. It's not very far. I mean, everything in town right here is just literally right next to each other. But I don't know why. I don't know why I'm struggling with this, not wanting to unblur.
God bless you.
Uncatalogued interviews from Delphi Police Department interview room from 2:20 to 3:24 and 8/17/2017. Due to a DVR program error discovered 8/20 of 2017, all recordings up to February 20th, 2017 were recorded over. There is no detectable audio found on this drive.
So there's no detectable audio from February 20th, 2022 to March 24th, 2022 and on August 17th, 2017 or whatever I said. Yeah.
Right.
Wait, what?
Well, so the week is deleted. The rest of it doesn't have audio.
So is he a fucking idiot or does he? So it says 2/20/2022 and 3/24/2022.
Yeah.
2022.
Yeah. What is that?
Should it not be 2017?
You'd think so, but it's not. It's 2022. And then also 8/17/2017.
I feel I told you. I told you
go
this.
back
I'm
to
to the.
the one they did where they filed that they said that there's like so many. It's got to just be a typo, I'm assuming, but it's where they gave us the dates of what the videos were that didn't have the audio. And it's like
Yeah.
right around here, but I thought it was into April for whatever reason, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, like I told you
I don't remember
yesterday,
all
I'm
those
I'm
dates.
just really starting to think that nothing he does is an accident. I don't know. I just don't trust him at all.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a typo or if there's something going on in the department from in 2022, that beginning of that year. Fuck, who knows? You never can. Who knows? Then the next one is containing uncatalogued interviews from the Franklin Street Investigation Center on 5/25/2018. And then 2/25/2017 to 4/7/2017. This is the one that I'm thinking of. See, I thought it was to April. There is no detectable audio on the original drive from which this duplicate was made.
First of all, what is uncatalogued? Does that mean?
They're just all willy-nilly in there.
Hmm.
No, that's not the sick one. That's the big one. The big one's the one barking. She protects me, so she'll constantly walk around while I'm, no matter what if I'm outside or doing anything like that, she'll walk around outside and just like patrol the perimeter. And if there's any type of weird sounds or anything, she alerts. Okay, so this is the one that they said that the audio was gone. I don't recall them. I don't know, man. They fucked up so much shit. So now there's a bunch of audio from Delphi that's also not good, but then there's the audio from the Franklin Street Investigation Center that's not good. I only remember one batch, and I think it's this one that I remember. And then there's the containing uncatalogued interviews from Franklin Street Investigation Center from 2/28 to 6/30. More interviews containing uncatalogued interviews from Franklin Street Investigation Center. They don't tell us who any of these are or who they're even interviewing. Containing uncatalogued interviews from Franklin Street, containing security footage from the DVR at the Canal Center for April 22nd, 2019 news release. What the Canal? Did they have a presser on April 22nd? Is that when they had the presser? And remember, he says, you could be here in this room. So they recorded it. I think that's this. What?
So I'm gonna send you something first. I don't care if you say it out loud, but I'm gonna send it to you first.
Okay.
I'm going back to nipples.
Oh shit! Fucking nipples. Okay, so then this is milestone trail camera footage. We don't know from when. This is provided by the FBI on 10/31/23 and contained the following. So a discovery export zip file, a discovery export all FBI Sentinel files and FBI documents. This file was the product of the zip file above. And then we have the evidence files. So we have 4846 West 375th North, 5601, brick and mortar, Carroll County, Senate Court. I have to look at those addresses. Crime scene cameras, 1, 4, and 6. CVS, Danny's Auto Shop, Delphi Citgo, Dollar General in Delphi, Dollar General in Flora, a drone video, FFB ATM, FFB drive-through, hard drive files. Okay, just random hard drive files. Hoosier Harvest Store, ISP trail cameras, library, Mitchell's Mexican Grill, Office Tavern, other forms, DVR info for systems not downloaded, Pearson's apartment. Dang. Pending collection is the Carroll County Courthouse, the Delphi Public Library, First Financial, the Marathon Gas Station, McDonald's, Sunoco, Pizza King, Save-A-Lot, Security Federal Credit Union, the Shell, the gas station, the transfer station, a new transfer station, another new transfer station, 3/14/2017, 3/16/2017. Wonder why those were important. True Value, Viewing Number 1, Walmart in Lafayette. So Logan Maxwell worked at Walmart, but I cannot remember if he worked at the Lafayette one or not. I'd have to go back in my notes and see. But he worked at Walmart either. Is it Monticello? Or there's only like two that are close to there. Oh, shit. According to that, Mike Nipple is married to Julie Kramer. And then we have Julia Kramer, who's taking photos of the girls. Well, that could be interesting. Monticello. Okay. Yeah, I know he worked at one of them. I just don't remember which one. Okay, so then we have my Passport Ultra. Oh, here's your Orion stuff. The latest copy of Orion. The release of all the files contained in Orion was provided by the FBI on 12/7/23. Any additional information contained in Orion will be uploaded to eDiscovery as any new Orion threads are made available. And I acknowledge the receipt of these, and this is received by Luxembourg, Sarah Luxembourg. There's also one in Logansport, but if Maxwell lived on Bicycle Bridge, he did not. He did not live on Bicycle Bridge. His dad did. He used to live there, but he hadn't lived there for about a year. The Nipple Kramer wedding. It unfortunately is. It's about a nipple. A Nipple Kramer. I wouldn't change my name either if I'm married. Yeah, no, I wouldn't at all. But that's interesting that he's married to a Julie Kramer, but then we have crime scene photos taken by Julia Kramer. I mean, is it a coincidence? I don't know. We'd have to look into some of these people. It could be anything. You would have chosen the Kramer nipple? That's a Nipple Kramer. You're starting to think that, Shibby? No. Just now? It was a Nipple Kramer wedding. Jesus. Julia Kramer is, yeah, she worked with the FBI. She was the one that was up here at the very beginning. Special Agent Julia Kramer. J. Kramer photos. His dad's name's Shorty. What's up, Shorty? Nipple? Wait, who's that? Wait, what? Who's this? Sleuthy?
So that is, why am I echoing?
I don't know.
That is Nipple. Her dad's name is Mike Nipple, and her mom's
Okay.
name is Julia Kramer.
Okay. Who is she? She's Stephanie
just
Nipple?
Yeah, yes.
But who is
Well, that
she?
was her name.
Was she in here? Where did I miss a nipple?
Oh my god.
Who is she?
That's just how we were figuring out the nipples.
This is a slippery nipple.
Oh my
nipples.
God. I don't think I can keep doing this.
There's a ring of nipples. So was there a phone extraction for the name Gibson? Yes, I believe so. A Gibson was on here, correct.
What about
I'm gonna have to we're gonna have to make a spreadsheet and go through who all these people are. That's what I'm gonna
we
do.
shall. We shall.
Yeah, Sleuthy and I will make a spreadsheet and go through who these people are and how they pertain to fucking anything. Because
The
some of these people
third.
we know, some we don't, some are just nipples, and we got to figure it out.
She's the third nipple.
The third nipple. Some are just the third. Don't manipulate it. All right, I gotta go pick up a kid from gymnastics. This has been
please.
fun.
Oh my
This
God.
is gonna blast. God. I don't even know the last time I ate. This is such a mess. These are purple nurples.
From now on, anytime you say manipulate, I promise you're going to say manipulate.
I probably will. I'll be like, it's a manipulate. We're going to do a spreadsheet on all the nipples. The nipples
We're going to
spread out on the sheets.
Build a nipple tree. Just
We'll
the tip of the nipple tree.
We could totally build a nipple tree. We'll make it happen.
Poor
I'm
folks.
so glad that not everybody watches the entire video when they come on for the replay. So it's only the select few that hang out towards the end that get to hear the fucking craziness.
Oh my God.
Yes, Erica Gibson. She's the one who has twin. She's the twin screenshot.
Oh.
5 hours ago. That's Erica Gibson.
Internipolate. Oh my God.
It's a nipple tree.
Odd.
Could just be an odd lone nipple. Unnippulated. It's a manipulated.
Oh my God. Can we stop, please?
Yeah, I gotta stop anyway. I gotta go. We'll see you guys in the morning for day 2 of Megan Boswell's trial, and then we'll start a spreadsheet on this because I know I have screenshots that match a ton of this. Aw, I'm sorry, Hunting Evil. Nipple talk on T-Page wasn't on my 2025 bingo card. No, just the tip. Just the tip is on the bingo card. That's all that ever makes it.
Oh my God. End the thing.
All right, I'm done. All right, thank you guys. See you tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us through thick and thin.
Don't forget to tip your nipples.
Don't forget to tip your nipples. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.
Do you dare to follow?